This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Hello and welcome, everybody. We are back. It is that time again, the OSN Game of the Week, and we are back in big-time fashion tonight. It is the Tuttle Tigers and the Piedmont Wildcats, a double dip for you tonight to kick off 2023 slate of OSN Game of the Week. Top 10 matchups in both girls and boys. We're going to have them both for you tonight right here. Don't go anywhere. Settle in for a great night of basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Josh Calloway here with you, joined alongside by my partner Jordan Ray. Jordan, last year we started the Game of the Week series here on OSN, and we had so many great games, and what a great way to kick it off tonight as far as 2023 is concerned. 4 top 10 teams in one building, hoping for a couple of good ones here.
Yeah, Josh, and let me say happy Friday the 13th to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind some crazy things happening as long as it's not too bad. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to this girls' game for sure. And I know that, last year we primarily did boys' games, but you've already expanded on that this year with the UConn-Norman North games from a few weeks ago. And this game's definitely going to be worth a lot of people's attention because you're talking about 2 teams that have won state in recent years. Tuttle did in 2021. I believe Piedmont won 5A state and girls' title in 2019. And 2 really good coaches, and of course, we'll definitely want to keep an eye out when we watch Tuttle about their OU commit, and for good things about our Landry Allen. So that's something to look forward to in this matchup we have ahead of us.
Definitely, these are 2 teams and 2 programs. Obviously, we'll have the girls up here first in just a few minutes from now. That they're hoping to contend. 4A for Tuttle, 5A for Piedmont. Programs that you expect high things from year in and year out, and we're excited to be here for both ends of what should be a potentially classic doubleheader tonight here at the home of the Wildcats Athletic Center. Beautiful facilities here in Piedmont. My first time personally coming out here, and we're set up for a couple of good ones, hopefully, here on OSN. All right, we're going to take a quick time out here. We'll come back. When we do, we're going to have the lineups, and we're going to have the basketball for you. We're going to get things started with the girls' game as per usual. Timeout, and we'll be right back for opening tip between the Tuttle Tigers and the Piedmont Wildcats right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, and my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
and act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
All right, back here at the Wildcats Athletic Center in Piedmont. Just getting ready to get going on this double dip. Tuttle and the Piedmont Wildcats here for you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Starting a lineup for Tuttle here first. We have number 10, Kinsley Battles. She's a 5'8 sophomore. Number 12 is Ava Battles, a 5'6 junior. Keep up with that, Jordan. Number 14, Allie Reels, a 5'9 junior. Number 24, Samantha Teague is a 5'9 junior. And then rounding out, like Jordan talked about for just a moment there, Landry Allen, number 25. She's a 6'3 senior, and she's headed to the University of Oklahoma. Really talented player. Excited to see her tonight. And they're coached by Jamie Combs. As for the hometown Piedmont Wildcats, number 2 is Chloe Carr. She's a 5'6 senior. Number 12, Riley Burnett, a 5'8 sophomore. Number 15 is Jillian Crawford, a 5'9 senior for Piedmont. Number 23, Macy Lee, a 5'6 senior. And then rounding it out, number 24, Ella Watkins, a 5'10 senior. And Piedmont's coached by Eric Carr. Tuttle Tigers 13-2 on the season, number 3 in 4A. Piedmont, meanwhile, 8-4 on the season at this point, number 6 in 5A. So, like we said, top 10 matchup, two really good teams getting ready to get after it here tonight at the Wildcats Athletic Center. Obviously, Jordan, first time for you seeing these two teams this year, but quick thoughts are key here that you can garner heading into this one. For Piedmont, it feels like maybe slow down 25 wouldn't be a bad idea.
Would not, but I'm going to to see number 25 on defense. You know, when Piedmont last played on the Oklahoma Sports Network, it was the area consolation game at Westmore against Lon MacArthur last March. And MacArthur won that game, I think, because of their size, just limited Piedmont's shooting opportunities. Will Landry Allen be a good defensive force inside the paint for Tuttle? Will that shut down Piedmont's offense?
Tuttle with the basketball first and a turnover. The Tigers in the road black with red numbers and letters. Is that tough on your eyes a little bit, Jordan? That might be a bit of a challenge tonight. Piedmont in the home white with the blue letters and numbers.
We rely on you for the names. Yeah.
Turnover for Tuttle to start it. Piedmont back the other way. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you in the OSN. Game of the week doubleheader. We're going to have both games tonight, Tuttle and Piedmont. Top 10 matchups in both. You don't really get that often in high school basketball. And so we're excited to bring both ends for you. However you found us tonight on OSN, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, the app, oksportsnet.com, lots of ways. We're glad you did. Mid-range jumper here for Ella Watkins doesn't go, and an empty trip for Piedmont. Back to the way come the Tigers. Just about a minute in, just getting started. Just tuning in, you haven't missed anything. No score, first minute, Tuttle and Piedmont. Left side here, this is Kinsley Battles. She gives it over to Ava Battles, two of them in the starting five for Coach Combs and the Tigers. This is Real. Around the horn here up to the top to Teague. Tuttle taking their time with this possession. You can see Piedmont just doing everything they can to deny Landry Allen, and that includes fouling her. A foul away from the ball here. I think it's going to go against Ella Watkins.
Both teams playing zone, and both teams being very methodical on offense. Piedmont is collapsing their defense against Landry Allen. Makes a lot of sense, of course. Both teams are going to have to make outside shots.
Yeah. This is Ava Battles with the ball. She'll give it up on the right side. Back to the top to Real. Underneath, here's Landry Allen. Kick out. It's a very methodical possession. Allen turnaround shot doesn't go. Again, you saw that double team crash down on her. And it's a stop. Back to the way it goes Piedmont. And we got a travel and a turnover.
So for Piedmont, Ella Watkins is guarding Allen and gives up about 5 inches. But what she can do to really help herself out is force her away from the basket, which she did on that last shot. And then there was a quick double that forced a bad shot by Allen.
Driving the lane here, Real with an up and under layup attempt, doesn't go. Rebound fought for. A couple of Tuttle players kind of battling. They do get a second chance out of this. Right side, this is Real again with it, and we have whistles. And a foul here is going to go against the Wildcats. Second one early on Piedmont. A little over 2 minutes in, so looking for our first points here in the OSN Game of the Week. Doubleheader to get us kicked off in 2023. Of course, we've had lots of basketball already for you on OSN, but excited to bring this package back. Little special events.
That foul was on Jillian Crawford, one of the best athletes on Piedmont, and a really good perimeter defender, and she tried to cut off that drive. We'll be interested to see how the refs call those penetration attempts throughout this game.
There's Allen giving it up here over to Ava Battle. She'll drive the baseline. Right hand floater's up and good. And just about 2.5 minutes in, we got our first point. It's the Tigers, and they lead it 2-0 here on the road.
So Allen went to the top of the key there, and that opened up a lot of space for the dribble drive, and that's how Tuttle got the first 2 points.
There's Chloe Carr. She tries to get it down low, and the pass was deflected. Ends up back in the hands of Carr, though, and now a bad foul here as Kinsley Battles. Racing going to give her a little bit of a hip check. First foul against Tuttle.
Kind of a bang-bang foul.
Yeah. This pass high of the mark, and that's another turnover. Just a little bit hot.
Well, Piedmont's passing right now, not great. 2 bad passes on that trip.
This Tigers team, we mentioned 13-2 to start the season. Certainly a contender in 4A, the 2021 champs. Landry Allen turnaround shot here, tried to bank it home, it just rolled out. Rebound comes out, Tigers save it, second chance. Pull-up shot here for Battles, too much. The rebound will ricochet, pinball out, and we'll be going over to Piedmont. A little bit of a kind of an uneven start for both teams offensively. Neither team really looking too comfortable.
Yeah, you can see, though, Piedmont, Coach Carr has them playing very fundamentally sound on defense. And that was really good boxing out there on that last trip.
Wildcats looking for their first points. This is Ella Watkins with it. Thought about the long 2, but Allen said, you don't want to do that. Piedmont will reset.
Well, she wanted a backdoor play, didn't get it, so good defense by Tuttle. There's a backdoor.
Here's Crawford. She'll drive. A little floater from the block doesn't go. Allen the rebound. So Piedmont nearly halfway through this first quarter, looking for their first points here on their home floor.
So I wonder if Crawford was thinking about Allen when she missed that shot.
Certainly worth, you wouldn't blame her, I guess, what I'm looking for, because certainly disruptive in the painted area makes it so tough. Tuttle, a good defensive team, and Allen's a big part of that, obviously. There's T. She gets it up to the top. This is Kinsley Battles, is number 10. You also have Ava Battles out there, number 12. She's the one with the tape on the arm. Here's Real with it. Tuttle, very deliberate in their possessions. They don't seem to be in any kind of a hurry, which is a little bit different than the game we last did together, as a deflection and a turnover here. Piedmont coming the other way, looking for their first points. 3-ball on the right wing, off the front of the rim, no good from Macy Lee. Allen cleans up the rebound. Piedmont still over from the field. They're only down a bucket because they're playing good defense on their own end.
This quarter is almost halfway over.
It's great. More than halfway. It's nuts. Allen, turnaround shot here. That's good, and that's butter for Landry Allen. Easy money. And the Tigers have a 2-bucket lead here very early on.
She made a quick move. Didn't give Piedmont really a chance for an effective double team against her. And, yeah, very good fundamental turnaround jumper, unblockable for one player, especially for Piedmont. They don't have a player over 6 feet tall in their lineup here. And Allen's 6'3".
Riley Burnett with the basketball. Goes around into the corner here. Almost a travel. Gives up to Watkins. Long two. Halfway down and out. Unfriendly roll there. And the Tigers keep the shutout alive. Fast break the other way. In the corner. This is Battles. Underneath to Allen. Turnaround shot. Back iron, no. Rebound ends up back in the hands of Kinsley Battles. And Tuttle gets another offensive rebound. Can reset things. Ava Battles here at the top as we approach 2 minutes left to play in this first quarter. Just 4-0 in favor of Tuttle. Real in the lane here, lots of contact, and it's an offensive foul.
Yep, definitely the right call. I think Piedmont has been very good fundamentally on defense, but guarding Allen, of course, will be tough. So they're going to give some points even when they play good defense. But they can't score right now because, well, I think Allen may be a bit in their head, and they're trying to take really tough shots right now. And they need a really patient possession here.
Carr, long pass here, and now it's in the corner. This is Kaylee Marshall, a senior, just came in for Piedmont. Ends up with Carr here, pump fake and drive, kick out, open three on the left wing. Off the side of the rim, no good, goes up and over the backboard. That was Macy Lee who had the good look, but Piedmont just can't buy one right now. They look very disjointed offensively. Nothing comfortable right now.
Well, they're not trying to make a concerted effort to get the ball in the paint. Also, Tuttle changing up defenses. They've played both zone and man so far. And I think that may have thrown Piedmont off some.
Drive down the baseline here. We have whistle. That's going to be a travel here as they get Teague racing toward the rim.
So Teague could see before the catch, she was going to have a driving lane on the baseline, and she just was she anticipated it too much, and so she started going before she established a pivot foot.
There's Macy Lee with it for Piedmont over to Chloe Carr. Carr, this is a deep three here taken by Crawford. It won't go. Rebound ends up back in the hands of the Wildcats, and Allen with an absolute rejection. Holy moly, sent Riley Burnett's shot flying back to the hardwood. Tuttle now starts the break the other way, looking for Battles. Good job getting back, though. That was Burnett who had her shot blocked, raced back and broke that up. And Piedmont gets another stop.
A great hustle by Burnett because she fell down on that. She was on the floor.
45 seconds left to play in the first quarter. It's just 4-0 Tuttle. Very good defense so far. The few open looks we've had, teams haven't really been able to hit them. Here's Burnett. She'll give it up. Lee back over to Carr. Thought about the long two. Instead, she'll give it up on the baseline here to Marshall. And it's going to be a foul on Tuttle. I thought they might get Marshall for the elbow there, but it goes against Tuttle.
She did extend that elbow.
That's two quick fouls on Allie Reel, a starter there for Tuttle, so she'll have to come out.
Piedmont needs a good out-of-bounds play here. So if they can create a shot, well, looks like they're not going to do that. They're just going to slow it down.
So they have one more crack at it here to avoid a goose egg in the first quarter. And that's a travel. Wow. So on Crawford there, trying to get around her defender, they say she moves the feet. It's another turnover. I got to say, I haven't seen a lot of teams get blanked in a quarter, and especially not teams as good as Piedmont is.
No, I've seen it in football.
You're right.
And they play longer quarters, but yeah, and again, part of it's Tuttle's defense, long possessions.
Really deep three here. That's not going to go. Real just fired that thing. Her heels might have been on the P in Piedmont. That was deep. And just 0.3 of a second here, so your first quarter score, barring something miraculous here, is going to be 4-0.
Both teams recently played Midwest City. Last week, in fact, Midwest City played back-to-back games. Of course, that's where I'm from, so keep tabs with that.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. Just 4-0 Tuttle after one. We'll be back for the second quarter. We're up next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust. to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
Back here in Piedmont, where it's 4-0. Tuttle leads the Piedmont Wildcats at the end of 8 minutes. Still very early. I tell you what, Jordan, I mean, it's obvious, but you're Piedmont, you're kicking yourself for getting goose-egged, but you got to feel great to only be down 4 points. Your defense keeping you in it.
Yeah, they need to find some way to get towards the basket. They need to be willing to trap. There we go. That's a good play.
That was a good look. Didn't go, but does draw the foul, which you'll certainly take if you're Coach Carr in Piedmont right now. So Julian Crawford will head to the free throw line and try and get the Wildcats on the board. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Game of the week, double-header action tonight. We're going to have both Piedmont-Tuttle games for you. As free throw there, no good.
The thing is, you got to tell your team, keep running those backdoor plays. Piedmont's already tried it before. Just because it's well guarded a couple times, teams eventually will wear down trying to guard backdoor plays. It's not enjoyable to defend against that.
So Piedmont's on the board with the free throw there from Crawford. It's 4-1. Just about 30 seconds into this second quarter. There's battles with it for Tuttle. Just checked in the game. That's Nicole Skaggs, the junior, 5'4", number 1 right there. Carr gets the steal, start the break for Piedmont. Carr down the lane, right-hand scoop shot, no. Frantic tip-back attempt, no good. And, of course, who else ends up in the hands of Landry Allen, and Tuttle start the break. Here's Skaggs. Gave her some room, tries to get down to Allen. Yeah, a whistle and a foul, and not that it comes in any surprise. We talked about it. Obviously, Landry Allen, one of the best players in the state, but Piedmont defensively, anytime the ball gets to her, it's just 3 jerseys flying toward her, just trying anything they can to keep her from going off and beating them.
Yeah, that was really a forced pass, but Allen, being so tall, still caught it.
A shot didn't go. Rebound put back is there, so the Tigers get a bucket. Boost their lead up to 5 points. A little over a minute into the second quarter. Bringing it up here, this is Burnett with it. She'll hand it off to Carr, give it right back to her. Burnett, little hesitation there. Back over Carr, left side, open 3 ball. Clackham's put down for Alexis Williams, or excuse me, that's Macy Lee for the Wildcats, and Piedmont has their first field goal.
You can get good threes against a 2-3 zone. You just have to be disciplined and not force it, and that's what happened there. It's a very good look.
So 6-4, here's Battles with it. This is Ava Battles. Hands it off to Allen at the top. Pump fake once, gives it right side. That's Marissa Sandlin, number 32, just came in. Just a freshman getting some run here in the second quarter. Over to Skaggs. Piedmont bench fired up about their defense.
There you go, screen.
And offensive foul, yeah. Wildcats defense getting the job done so far. Offense got to obviously catch up. First foul there called against Tuttle's Samantha Teague. It's the 5th team foul on the Tigers. They have a timeout on the floor. Just a 30-seconder, I believe, with 6:01 to play in this first half. Kind of feels like, I mean, obviously, Jordan, we're almost 10 minutes into this game, and even though Piedmont's down, they got to feel pretty good. It feels like their offense, even though they only have the 1 field goal, got fouled. They've had some decent looks. But they're kind of starting to maybe find a little bit of a rhythm.
Yeah.
And obviously the defense is getting the job done on the other end.
Yeah, I can see Coach Carr, we have it on camera right now, instructing one of his players how to use the arm bar on offense. They need to be really strong with the ball, this Piedmont. They want to get good looks. But I think a lot of it's just a slump right now. At some point, you think they will get hot. They have very skilled players.
Right. Mentioned that's the 5th foul on Tuttle, so they have one more to give in this first half. Piedmont in good shape, just the 3 fouls. This is Lily Anderson with it for the Wildcats. Just checked in. She's a senior on this squad coming off the bench.
Tuttle still primarily playing a 2-3 zone.
In the corner here, 3 ball for Burnett. That's not going to go off the front of the rim. Rebound fought for and ripped in by Teague. And the Tigers have it going back to the way. 5.5 to play in the first half. Battles right side to Sandlin. Gives it back to Battles, underneath to Allen. Got the one-on-one here, turnaround. That's too easy for Landry Allen. Easy bucket. And Tuttle's back in the lead by 2 scores.
Such a quick pivot. I mean, once she turned, she was completely separated from her defender, and it was an easy shot at that point. Very
Allen, a senior on this Tiger squad, and I was fortunate to see her a couple times as a freshman. She was disruptive then, obviously even more so now. 3 ball here off the front of the rim, no good for Macy Lee. Piedmont comes up empty. Had a few times they've kind of forced some threes, kind of early in possessions.
Well, that's what a 2-3 zone does.
Yeah. There's Sandlin over to Battles, underneath to Allen again. Triple team, quadruple team. Shot doesn't fall. Just everyone on Piedmont defensively crashing down on her. We have another whistle and a foul here on Tuttle. So that's their 6th, so put Piedmont into the bonus for the rest of this first half.
We'll see if Tuttle starts to have a cutter, and if Allen will start to wait on that double or triple team before making a decision, and maybe see if her teammates can start getting some shots out of her getting the ball down low and getting double teamed.
So 2nd foul on Teague. Like I said, the 16th foul, so Piedmont's in the bonus the rest of the way in this first half. Here's Lee with it. Over the top, Carr, a deep 3 from the top of the key, up the side of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled in by Battles, and another empty trip for the Wildcats. Still just the 1 field goal. Here's Battles racing down and takes some contact, and a foul on Burnett. Just on the floor. First one on Burnett, 14th foul against the Wildcats.
6 on Tuttle. Piedmont needs to try to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Offense is struggling. You got to get to the line if you can. Here's Skaggs, an open 3. Back iron, no. Long rebound comes out, rained down by Carr. All the attention on Allen there. She found the wide open man, just didn't hit it. The other way, here's Crawford as we cross the midway point of this second quarter. Carr guarded by Skaggs. Now Burnett. See if Piedmont and Coach Carr here wants to talk about it. Maybe didn't like the way that possession was kind of unfolding. 3:46 to play in the first half. Do you feel, in your estimation, about a quarter and a half in, is this more what the defenses are doing, or is it just kind of missing shots in your mind in this first 12 minutes?
Well, I think it's defense. I think because Tuttle's playing a 2-3 zone, they're going to force Piedmont to hit outside shots for one, and probably take shots they're not comfortable to. The other thing is, with a lot of good passing, you can attack a 2-3 zone that's small, but Tuttle's big, obviously, because they got Allen inside, but they got other tall players too.
Yeah.
So just getting into the paint for Piedmont, really hard at this point. And their best possession was when they ran a backdoor play and got fouled. That was against a man. Tuttle stuck with a zone since then. And it's really slowed Piedmont down.
Feels like whatever team can make the adjustments at halftime to unlock some kind of offense might be the difference tonight. 8-4, Tuttle in front. Piedmont with the basketball. 3.5 to play in the first half. Here's Carr with it for the Wildcats. To the top, that's Lee. Over to Burnett. Kind of reset things a little bit. Back over to Carr. Screen set by Lee. Skaggs does a good job getting off it. Carr just trying to get some breathing room. And Lee will kind of reset things for the Wildcats. Just inside the three-point arc. Back out, here's Lee, now Crawford with it. Just seems like there's no soft spots in this Tuttle defense. Back to Carr at the top, decent look, Clackums. Knock it down, that'll do. And despite having just 2 field goals in this game, Piedmont's down just 1, 8-7.
The coach's daughter. Usually coaches' kids can shoot pretty well.
Yep, because they've been doing it since they were right out of the womb practically. Yep. Here's Tuttle with it up by 1. Here's Sandlin, she's a freshman, hands off to Battles. Left side Skaggs underneath Allen. Shot didn't fall, and again, Piedmont's doing a great job at just crashing down on her so quickly whenever she gets the ball. Piedmont can have their first lead here with a bucket. Carr for three. Clackham's again! Back-to-back triples by Carr. Piedmont goes from 4 points to 10 points just like that, and they have their first lead.
You know, it's just a matter of time.
Yep.
When you're really cold for one quarter, you're going to have a hot streak coming up at some point.
Here's Sandlin right about the free throw line. She'll hand it off to Skaggs. So we hit the final 2 minutes to play in the first half from Piedmont. Right side, Skaggs again. She'll settle for the long two right about the elbow. Not going to fall. Rebound hits the floor. Diving after it there. That's Layla Kerr, number 20, just came in for Tuttle.
Now, Skaggs had a good shot.
Yeah.
But, of course, the reason why she had a good shot is all the attention goes to Allen. So now it's kind of the responsibility of some Tuttle players to make some of these outside shots because Piedmont's going to do what they can to take that girl's game away.
Allen got her on the pump fake there, draws the foul against Ella Watkins. That'll be the 5th foul on Piedmont.
So just about every time Tuttle's running what they call a blob play, a baseline out of bounds, that's when you can get a lot of offense going. They are looking to Allen consistently then. They haven't gone to her at every possession otherwise. So there it is right there.
Right off the inbound, a great play, and it winds up for an easy lay-in for Allen. And we're tied back up.
I'm surprised as much attention as Piedmont gives Allen, they don't defend the baseline out of bounds plays better.
Here's Burnett on the right side. 90 seconds to play in the first half. We're all square right now, 10 apiece. Long pass to Carr. She's hit 2. Do I got 3? No, a little too much. Rebound, though, pulled in by the Wildcats, and Allen another block. Rejecting Marshall's shot. Anytime you're in the paint, you got to think about it. Down low here, and that's a travel as Kerr had to kind of leave her feet just enough to catch that pass. It kind of threw off balance a bit.
So if you're Piedmont, you have the ball near the basket. You know Allen's guarding you. You have to be very creative. One, try a pump fake, but at the very least, you need to shoot a shot where you're not exposing the ball. I mean, they make it very easy to block shots like that.
3 ball here for Lee Clackham's, and Piedmont has found the deep shot game. 3 threes in a row, and they've retaken the lead 13-10.
4 threes overall, many of them against the zone.
Allen turnaround shot. That doesn't count. It's an offensive foul. Huge call. Obviously, you saddle Allen with a foul, but also you erase the bucket in what's a very low-scoring game right now.
I got to confess, I hate that call. I'm not saying the ref's wrong to call it, but I would change it where it is wrong to call that because Allen can't see the Piedmont player.
Right.
So what's you supposed to do? You know, usually you try to give the offensive player room to gather yourself with the ball. And I don't think that's enough room for an offensive player. I'd say if you're going to do that on defense, do so at your own risk.
There's Piedmont with it. They could hold if they want. 30 seconds left to play in the half. We'll see. Nope. Carr's going to go ahead and fire. Off the back iron, no. Rebound pulled in by Allen. So Tuttle will have a chance here to try and cut in or even tie it. Fast break, battles. Through contact. How the heck did that go? They're going to count the basket?
No.
Looks like no, yeah. They're going to say it's on the floor, so just the 6th foul on Piedmont, so no free throws.
Now I'm surprised as liberally as refs give players continuation, especially in the NBA.
It just depends on the crew right now. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't give her that.
So Tuttle retains possession. Any foul would result in free throws now. They're down to 15 seconds. Here's Sandlin, the freshman, getting around Lee. Hands it off to Battles. Now Reels got it. Contested the free throw line. Really tough shot. Air ball short. Sandlin comes up with it. Tough shot, no, through a lot of contact. And that's the end of the first half. Piedmont defense largely suffocating in that first 16 minutes. And that's what's helped them get a 13-10 lead at the end of the first half. All right, we'll take a timeout here. We'll come back. Jordan and I will wrap up the first half. Get you ready for the second half here from Piedmont. 13-10, Wildcats in front on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr., Come join us.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
All right, back here in Piedmont, we're at halftime right now. You see the Palm Squad performing here in Piedmont. 13-10, Wildcats in front of the Tigers. A very low-scoring first half of action from Piedmont. So far, defense, obviously the story, but the Wildcats found it with the three-point ball in that second quarter after getting blanked in the first 8 minutes, put up 13 in the second quarter to have a 13-10 lead at the half right now over the Tigers. We're going to step away for just a moment here. We'll leave the stream up, not going anywhere. We'll have the second half for you coming up in just about 6 or 7 minutes from now. So don't go anywhere. We're hanging out right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
All right, back here at the Wildcats Athletic Center. We're just about 40 seconds-ish away from getting the second half started between the Piedmont Wildcats and the Tuttle Tigers. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you on a Friday night in January. Jordan, key in your mind here to this second half for either team, both teams, whatever you feel like is going to be the difference here. Obviously just a one-score game.
Yeah, you have to attack weaknesses. You have to be consistent with it here, too. So at the end of the second quarter, I was complimenting Tuttle on how effectively they were getting the ball to Landry Allen on baseline out of bounds plays. And then what happened after that, they ran a baseline out of bounds play where Allen was the inbounder, and they couldn't get it into her as a result. Maybe it was intended to go to her eventually, the play, but it never worked out. So they missed out on a scoring opportunity there. So that's something that is working on offense for Tuttle. For Piedmont, at some point the three-point shooting usually dries up. So the key will be, can they find ways to get backdoor cutters against whether it's a zone or man for Tuttle? Well, hopefully they force Tuttle into a man for them, and then they can attack with backdoor cuts.
Yeah, Piedmont, as that empty possession there to start this third quarter, no two-pointers for Piedmont in that first half. They had 4 threes and then a free throw. That's their 13 points. Got him in the lead. 3-ball for Tuttle. Here's going to tie it up. Clackam's on the far side. That's Ava Battles putting that one down. And just like that, we're all knotted up. 13 apiece here, just getting going in the third quarter.
Well, that's another important thing for Tuttle. When Allen gets double-teamed like that, the defense collapses on her. The open shooters for Tuttle have to step up.
3-ball in the corner. Clackam's right back at you. Ella Watkins puts one down for Piedmont. And they've only made threes, but it's working. That's 5 threes for Piedmont, 16-13 Wildcats.
Well, I said the well was going to dry up, but I didn't say when.
Maybe
it'll be a while.
Sometimes you can get there without, I don't know about making no twos, but right now it's working. Driving the lane here, this is Kinsley Battles. Right-hand floater won't go. Rebound pulled in. It was a good look, but couldn't finish it off. Crawford the rebound for Piedmont. Racing ahead, here's Macy Lee. Pass underneath. Could this be their first two? No, missed it. It was a great pass and an open look for Watkins, but just didn't hit it.
And Watkins should have cut to the basket.
Yeah, she had room there. You are correct. Allie Real with it here for Tuttle. 6:23 to go in the third quarter. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Tuttle and Piedmont, two top 10 teams in their respective classes. Spin move, shot is good. That was really nice for Samantha Teague. Cuts the deficit back down to 1.
She split the defense there, and usually defenders, they don't stand side by side when they try to help like that, so it happens more frequently than people think where an offensive player can just split the defense.
Watkins for 3 there, doesn't go. Rebound Allen, and Tuttle will start the break. A chance to jump back in the lead here with a bucket. Ava Battles with it. Gives it up to Kinsley battles, the younger of the two. Kinsley, a sophomore, Ava, a junior. She has the ball here underneath to Allen. Bank it home, get the roll. Tuttle back in the lead by 1.
Well, that is the offense they would take every time. Not only does Allen get the ball in the post, but she can turn and score without it before a double team can get there.
Almost a steal there for Allen, racing ahead. Watkins able to pull it in. Nice bounce pass to Carr, who was cutting. It was a good idea, but Carr just couldn't quite hang on to it, and it goes out of bounds. And go back over to Tuttle. Actually going to get a whistle on a foul here. I didn't realize that. Thought it was just out of bounds. It's a foul on Piedmont. It's going to be on Carr, her second, excuse me.
That's a cheapie, but that's what they want to do. They want to backdoor plays on offense, but they got to execute. You got to catch those low bounce passes.
Here's Reel on the right side, gives it over to Watkins. Or Teague, excuse me. We have a whistle and a foul away from the ball. It's going to go on Tuttle.
Or someone screening for Allen.
I think it was on Battles.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Now Kinsley Battles. That's her third. So a starter for this Tigers team in some foul trouble. Coach Combs leaving her in for now. Actually, I say that, but Sandlin goes to the table, probably to come get her at the next dead ball. Here's Lee with it. Goes to the right side to Carr. Crawford, a deep three for Piedmont. That's not going to fall. Allen, another rebound. She is piling up the boards in this game.
She's got to have like 15, and they're most of the defensive end.
A lot of them uncontested, too. Just Piedmont kind of accepting their fate a little bit.
You're right. Piedmont has not crashed the offensive glass.
Driving the lane, here's Reel. Oh, a really tough shot. Toilet bowls out. It'll be knocked out of bounds by Battles and go back over to Piedmont. It was a good move, but Reel unable to quite finish it. Battles does come out with 3 fouls. Back in comes Marissa Sandlin.
So even though Piedmont had the lead, a couple different occasions, they led by 3, you still like Tuttle's shot selection better. And you think over the course of a 32-minute game that shot selection will win out against Tuttle's.
Here's Lee on the left side. Piedmont down by just 1 on their home floor. Crawford almost took a really deep 3. Instead, she'll give it up. Midway point of the third. Lee with it to the top. Here's Carr, left side Crawford. Oh, thought about it again. It says she'll take it. Kick out Lee, right side. Off the screen, 3 ball for Macy Lee, front of the rim, no. Another rebound again for Allen. Seems like any empty trip for Piedmont is an Allen rebound in this game. Here's Ava Battles at the top, gives it up. That was Teague, gives it back to her. And Tuttle will slow down and try to set something up here. 3.5 to go in the third. Allen, long pass to Teague. Hand off to Reel. Long one to Sandlin, right wing 3, clackers. Marissa Sandlin, the freshman, buries the triple, and Tuttle's back ahead by 2 scores at 20-16, and we got a timeout.
And not often you see a team in the third quarter, especially when they have the lead, hit a shot and then immediately take a timeout.
Yeah, it threw me off a little bit,
but
actually.
Coach Combs for Tuttle wants a full timeout, so that makes me wonder, what are they going to set up on defense?
Timeout on the floor. We'll go ahead and take it with them. 20-16, Tuttle's in front mid-third quarter here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Back here at the Wildcats Athletic Center, home of the Piedmont Wildcats. It's a 4-point lead for Tuttle, as you noted in the break. 7-0 run for the Tigers right now after Piedmont hit that 3 to go back up by 3 points. If you're just tuning in, Piedmont has not hit a 2-point shot in this game. They've hit 5 threes and a free throw. That's their 16 points of what's been a very defensive-minded game. Not a lot of good looks, and the few that they've had, a lot of them haven't gone down. Here's Lee. I think this is a long 2. It's good.
Nope.
They call it a 3. I thought her toes were on the line, but it is a 3. And it's back down to a 1-point game, 20-19. Big shot there for Piedmont. Still haven't hit a 2 in this game. Here's Reel at the top for Tuttle. Boy, Piedmont felt like they needed that to kind of cut into this a little bit. The momentum for Tuttle. Not that the deficit was big, but Tuttle had all the momentum. Right back at you. 3 ball for real. And Tuttle's right back ahead by 4.
Yeah, we've seen some bombs this half both ways. Tuttle starting to make some threes. Advantage for Tuttle there because they've shown they can score inside and out. Piedmont has shown they can score outside.
Here's Crawford, hands it off to Macy Lee. That big shot from Piedmont to come right back down and hit a 3. Feels consequential for Tuttle. Underneath, here's to Lee. Kick out in the corner. Round the horn. Carr with it to the top. Crawford, 3. Allen blocked it. And it's going to go out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. Landry Allen. I mean, just how many high school basketball girls can you see go from the paint out to the three-point line and block a 3 like that? It's pretty rare.
I only know of 2 or 3. A couple of them might be playing for Edmond North. Probably the best girls team in the state.
Here's Lee on the left side. Under 2 minutes in the third. Crawford, who kind of left her feet without a plan, and it's picked off and stolen by Kerr for the Tigers. Start the break for Tuttle. Here's Rio with it. $1:45 to play in the third. 4-point lead for the Tigers on the road, trying to score themselves a pretty impressive road win. They have an offensive foul here against the Tigers. I think it's on Allen. Nope, it's on Kerr. Layla Kerr picks up the foul. Just a second on the Tigers. Haven't been a very whistle-happy game in general.
Well, we've seen some fouls, but not a lot of shooting fouls.
Right. No, there hadn't been a lot of trips to the free throw line tonight for either team.
No.
Here's Watkins. Try to go to Crawford's almost stolen. Here's Carr, an open look on a 3-ball. Clackums. Chloe Carr buries the 3-ball.
That came because of the attempted steal. If you gamble, you don't get a steal.
Yeah.
You can definitely play your defense at a disadvantage.
7 threes for Piedmont. It's 23-22. And we have a whistle and a foul here on the Wildcats. It'll be their second, 3rd personal to Jillian Crawford.
And Crawford hooked Allen, trying to get around her.
Minute 3 to play in the third quarter. Here's Allen off the inbound. Rocket pass to Battles. Long pass over to Sandlin. She'll drive, try to get some room off the lead. Good defense there, though, so she has to kick it back out. Battles back with it. Screen set by Allen. Back to Reel. Over in the corner, trying to get some room underneath Allen. Turnaround shot through a double team. Oh, boy, Silky. Allen puts it down. Lead back up to 3 at 25-22.
You know, I'd probably tell Piedmont, if Allen does that power dribble, you need to try to knock the ball away from her. So when she puts the ball on the floor, that she might be the most vulnerable. But you're seeing Piedmont stay in there, and it kind of goes with this, you know, modern NBA theory where, you know what, you might be better off just jacking up threes. You'll eventually make enough of them, even if you don't make a high percentage of them, to stay in the game. And that's what Piedmont's done.
Here's Lee with it in the final 15 seconds of this third quarter. Wildcats down by 3 on their home floor. Carr with it. Ooh, good defense here. Has to give it up to Burnett. Trying to get some room. She'll drive. Bounce pass. 2 for Marshall. Won't go. Another good look. Just couldn't find it. Final seconds here. A last-second heave. Not a bad try at it. But it comes up short, and that's the end of 3 quarters. 25-22 Tuttle. Hanging on the road. Should be a fun finish. Fourth quarter next, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
Back back here in Piedmont. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network, set up for a good finish. As I jokingly said earlier, we pretty much exclusively had good finishes on the OSN Game of the Week last year. We're set up for a good one here. 3-point lead for the Tigers as we open up the fourth quarter. They have the ball on the road here in Piedmont, trying to score themselves. I don't know if I call it an upset, but it would be a darn good win on the road. Tigers trying to build on their 3-point lead as we open up the final frame. This is Ava Battles with it for Tuttle.
Piedmont's in a 3-2 zone. Very interesting defense to play against a team with a good post player. Normally not ideal.
Long pass in the corner. Reel was all alone somehow. Didn't hit it, though. Body's on the floor. Ends up in the hands of Macy Lee. Piedmont starts the break. Here's Crawford down the floor. Kick over to Carr. She was thinking about the shot before catching the pass there. And Piedmont will have to slow it up a little bit. Here's Burnett. Kick out in the corner. Open look for Carr in the tie. Not going to go. Long rebound comes out and saved by Burnett, though. Piedmont gets another shot at it. 7:10 to play. Crawford from super deep. Not going to fall. Another offensive rebound, though. Now Lee thought about it, but Allen comes over, says no. On the floor, jump ball, arrow.
Stay with Piedmont.
Is going to keep it at this end. You're correct with Piedmont. You saw Lee think about that three and then saw who was in front of her and thought better of it.
They are fully committed to shooting threes as Piedmont.
Still have not hit a two. I sound like a broken record, but I can't say that I've seen that. An entire game without a team hitting a two. And here's the crazy thing. They got a shot to win this despite that.
Yeah, they've hit 7. I think they're shot a low percentage, but still they made 7, and that's...
When you play good defense, I guess, yeah. Here's Carr on the left wing, guarded by Reel. To the top of Lee, now right side, Burnett. Don't go anywhere at the conclusion of the ball game. We're going to have the boys game for you next. Should be another good one. Another top 10 collision. Got a lot of the meat on the bone left with this one, though. Burnett here at the top. She'll drive the lane to the rim. Can't get the roll. Rebound Allen. Boy, it's just any time they're inside the three-point arc, it just won't go down. Tuttle with it back up by 3.
Yeah, Burnett needs to be confident and comfortable shooting that shot with her left hand. And that may have been Piedmont's first 2. She was comfortable with that.
In the corner, here's Allen. Turnaround shot won't go, but she is fouled. And like you said earlier, we haven't really had a lot of free throws in this game, but we're going to get some here. Landry Allen will head to the free throw line and try and make this a 2-possession game here in the fourth quarter. Just the 3rd team foul on Piedmont. Tuttle only has 2.
Yeah, it's a surprising defense Piedmont's playing right now because, again, a 3-2 zone leaves the middle open. So you'll guard the middle, but you have to have players rotating, and that can leave spots in the paint out of position or wide open for a cutter or something like that.
Allen sinks them both, and the lead goes to 5 points, 27-22 Tuttle, as we hit the final 6 minutes to play here from Wildcats Athletic Center. And Coach Carr wants a timeout to try and talk about it. Right now, where does Piedmont go for offense here, Jordan? Obviously, it hasn't really been there consistently the whole game. At some point, you got to find a way to, is it just cut your loss at this point, keep firing threes, hope you can make them, or do you try and do something else?
So if Tuttle plays zone, I would say actually yes, keep firing away from 3, but it has to come when you make a concerted effort to at least get the ball in the high post, which is one of the most common ways to attack a zone, is throw the ball into the high post. If Tuttle, however, goes man, keep running your backdoor plays. Piedmont loves to do that. They've had success finding the cutting player, even though they don't have any 2-point shots to show for it. They've had a free throw trip and a couple other times where the play just didn't work out. And they need to finish with confidence. And if you go left, you need to try to finish with your left, because otherwise that's an easy shot to block. And of course, that's something you have to think about, Allen, to some extent when you attack the basket. But you can't let that make you timid.
27-22, your score in favor of Tuttle. This game was 4-0 Tigers at the end of the first quarter. I mean, Tigers pitched a shutout in the first 8 minutes, but Piedmont responded, had a 13-10 lead at the break. Tuttle then responded again to have a 25-22 lead into this fourth quarter, and now you see where they stand, 27-22 as we continue in this fourth quarter. Pass down low, deflected and stolen. Ends up in the hands of Allen. Good active hands defensively for Tuttle. Racing down the floor, real shot. How the heck did that thing go? Through the contact and the foul, and Tuttle's got a 7-point edge.
Well, Piedmont did what I suggested, but they forced it. So usually it's the second or third player when you keep going, when you keep sending players backdoor that might be open there. But that was well defended by Tuttle, and they're showing they're not just a one-player team here.
Definitely not. Landry Allen's had herself a good night, but hasn't been dominant offensively by any means. Piedmont's done a good job kind of taking her out, but they haven't had enough offense on their side to make a difference right now. Down 8. Can the Wildcats find it offensively to try and rally and take this thing at home? Here's Crawford. Ooh, nice move. Long 2. It'll go. And Piedmont's finally got a 2-pointer, their first of the game. It cuts it down to 6.
Yeah, they got into the paint, though. They got in the high post and hit a mid-range shot. That was a very good possession. Got to see if they can be consistent with that.
30-24. Tuttle in front. 5 minutes to play. Here's Reel from about the free throw line. Kick out in the corner. And they'll set back up. Reel's guarded by Crawford. Now Battles with it. Over to Kinsley. Battles underneath to Allen. She got shoved in the back there. As Marshall getting a little too aggressive, draws the foul on Allen.
Yeah, she had both arms on her.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's like 6 inches Kylie Marshall gives up to Allen.
Inbound to Allen right off. Ooh, just didn't roll in, but a big rebound here. Put back attempt, no, but foul Layla Kerr will go to the line. Kerr's been kind of in and out of this game. She hasn't played a ton of minutes, but she seems to make an impact when she does, and now she's going to be going to the free throw line with 4:40 to go.
Well, it's what I talked about. Piedmont, Tuttle, when they have a baseline out of bounds play, should go to Allen every time, and they did. They got a good shot. But when Allen misses a shot, Piedmont's got to get that rebound. That is a huge thing. If Allen's shooting and taking herself out of offensive rebounding position, you got to take advantage of that. That's a big not getting a defensive rebound for Piedmont there.
Got a whistle here. It will go against Tuttle.
Only the third team foul. So they're in good shape with that. They can commit a couple of those fouls.
Piedmont, meanwhile, has kind of quietly started to pile them up. They're up to 6, actually. So Tuttle is in the bonus the rest of this game with an 8-point lead. Piedmont certainly up against it. Not out of it, but up against it. Here's Carr on the right wing, driving on Battles. Turn around to Watkins. They could use this. Air ball. Rebound. Burnetto, what a good play that was to throw it off of Reel's leg. Out of bounds, it'll stay at this end. Heads up play to kind of steal another possession here.
The toughest rebounds for a defensive team to get are the air balls. And you saw it right there.
Inbound to Crawford. She gives it up to Carr. Now Watkins. Back to Carr. As we approach the midway point of the fourth quarter from Piedmont. Can the Wildcats rally on their home floor, or will Tuttle get themselves a nice road win? Here's Watkins. We got whistles here, and it's going to be on Tuttle again.
So I've talked before about Piedmont's backdoor cutting. Tuttle's very aware of that, and they're being very handsy on those backdoor cuts. They got to steal off that at one point, so it works well for them when it can, but sometimes you'll run the risk of committing a foul there.
Inbound right to Lee. Nicely drawn up play, but Lee couldn't finish. We have more whistles, and this is going to go against Piedmont. And that should be free throws.
That is a very bad sequence for Piedmont, and that's going to be free throws for Tuttle.
That's the 7th foul, so this will be a 1-1 at the other end for Tuttle with 3:50 to go. They can make this a double-digit lead.
You had the open shot, and Allen was nowhere near the paint, or was not on that side, I should say. So I don't think anything to do with her, fearing her on defense. It's just a rush shot, and Piedmont's inability to finish around the paint really hurting them right now because the three-point shots have kind of been taken away at the moment. So they're losing ground here, and they're about at the point of no return if they can't start stringing some baskets together.
Battles makes the front end but misses the second one, so he'll have to settle for a 9-point lead. But with 3:45 left, that's asking a lot. But Piedmont, the way they can shoot it, you never know. Still got some time, but they gotta move. Here's Crawford, and got whistles here. It's going to be another foul on Tuttle. That's going to be the 5th on the Tigers. They're starting to kind of pile them up a little bit now.
Yeah, but Tuttle's using their fouls wisely. If you can use your fouls on defense without them being shooting fouls. It's usually pretty good. Force another inbounds play. And I'm not saying a 9-point lead with this much time is insurmountable, but you have to take context in consideration here.
Right.
If this was PC West and PC North and boys basketball, that'd be different. 9-point lead would be nothing.
Watkins for 3, no, and right now Piedmont,
wow,
they're just cold. That was a very awkward-looking play as Burnett kind of got bent over.
Well, she was grabbing for the ball at an awkward angle.
Adding insult to injury, she's the one who gets the foul as well here. So it's going to result in a Tuttle free throws on the other end. That's the 2nd foul on Burnett, and it's another 1-and-1 coming for Tuttle. Looks like Burnett's okay, thankfully. As Coach Carr wants a timeout, she's walking a little gingerly, but on her feet pretty quickly. Timeout on the floor, 3:29 to go. Go ahead and take it with them. Tuttle in good shape. Piedmont trying to rally late here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female, you just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
All right, back here in Piedmont, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Game of the week. We're going to have another game for you tonight as the Tigers and Wildcats boys squads will meet up coming up here just shortly. We'll also let you know that our next game of the week is set. We are ready for it next Tuesday night. These same Tuttle Tigers, the boys squad, I should say, coming up next. We'll be in Newcastle. We'll have that game for you Tuesday night, January 17th. 8 o'clock tip is set for that one. Jordan and I will be on the call, so that's our next game of the week. For that one next Tuesday, always a fun rivalry when those teams get together. So we'll have that one for you next on Tuesday. First free throw rolls out, so missing the front end of the 1-and-1 there. Keeping the door still slightly ajar here for Piedmont. Here's Carr with it, left side Watkins. Piedmont knows possessions are becoming precious now. You can't really afford to waste them. Burnett still in the game after that awkward fall a minute ago. Right to the rim and get the roll.
Yeah, that was a good drive by her because she just didn't care that Allen was right there at the paint. Allen was taken by surprise. She did not rotate over.
I think she was a little surprised as well. I think you're right on that. 7-point game, under 3 minutes to go. Piedmont close enough to keep the pressure on Tuttle here. The Tigers are going to need to make shots and make their free throws when they come. Teague, long pass over to Reel. Over to Allen at the free throw line. Tuttle content right now just to work some clock, it looks like.
Yeah, both teams can run a lot of clocks, so that's what makes trying to come back so difficult.
If you didn't see, motion to add a shot clock was denied.
I did see
this
that.
week, much to the chagrin of many in high school basketball. Obviously, they'll try again in the future, but as far as for next season, which is when that was hoping for, didn't happen.
I would love to see an explanation why they opposed that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So I'd like some transparency there.
Right side, this is Battles. It would just be for 3A through 6A as well, so it's not they're not beating up on the small schools, but was denied, so we'll try again in the future. We have a whistle and a foul here eventually as a lot of time ran off there. 2:02 to go, and we're going to have a 1-and-1 here coming for Teague. This will be the last 1-and-1 for Tuttle. It'll be double bonus the rest of the way.
Yeah, Piedmont's going to have to play some type of trapping defense or a really tight pressure man. They've got to try to force turnovers.
First free throw good for Teague. Gets it back up to 8. Right now, barring, like you're saying, a bunch of turnovers, Piedmont's a little bit at the mercy of just Tuttle missing some free throws. It's not impossible. I've seen crazier things, high school basketball. Does miss the second one, so it's a 1-for-2 trip. Final 2 minutes from Piedmont. 34-26. Crawford hands it off to Carr. Deep three on the right side. Back iron, no. Rebound pulled in by Kerr. Well, that would have been a big shot to cut it to 5, but didn't get it to go. And now Tuttle can really start to work it. Nice feed underneath. Teague with the easy lay-in, and it rolled out, but Kerr somehow runs it down. It's knocked back into play, and Piedmont somehow saves it. And we're going to get a foul here called on the Tigers, just the 6th. So no free throws just yet. Boy, that was a great... I can't believe that shot for Teague didn't roll home. It just unfriendly bounces there.
Well, when you start to trap or apply tight pressure defense, you're more likely to give up layups, but you have to kind of take that risk. Piedmont's lucky to have the ball here.
90 seconds left.
They have to score this possession.
Oh, yeah, and probably quickly. Here it is. Lee for 3. It's going to airball, but Burnett right there, blocked from behind by Real, who read that all the way. Will stay at this end. 122, all that's left. Can Piedmont find a way to mount a big rally here? Inbound goes to Crawford. Hand off Lee. Now Carr's got it. Back to Lee. Underneath to Crawford. Spin move. Turnaround shot. That won't fall. Good defense there by Battles. Gets the stop. Here's Allen. Back over here to Ava Battles as we near the final minute. It's going to take a lot for Piedmont to do this now. Never say never. As Real is now fouled, this is going to be a 2-foul situation. This is the 10th, or 2-shot situation, I should say, as it's the 10th against Piedmont.
By the way, Josh, you know who else is headed to Newcastle? Piedmont. They're going to be in the Newcastle tournament.
Yep.
As for Tuttle, you know, they don't have any games left. I think they got 6 after this because they've done with their tournaments. And this is their last game against a non-4A team. And, of course, they've done well against non-4A teams. They beat Midwest City, a 6A team that's really good this year. Beat them by 17 points up in Weatherford.
Real makes them both, so it's a 10-point lead for Tuttle. They look to be on their way here. Got a timeout taken by Coach Carr. We'll stick here through it, like you said. Next up for the Tigers, they'll be headed to Newcastle on Tuesday night on the road there. Then they'll be have next Friday off before heading to Elk City the following Tuesday after that. One of my favorite gyms in Oklahoma out there in Elk City. As for Piedmont, next up Tuesday night, they'll have Duncan coming in here, another really good team, number 11 currently in 5A. And they'll play in that Newcastle
good friends
tournament.
with their coach, Brandon Kephart.
Good squad coming in here next. And then they'll play in the Newcastle tournament next week, starting on Thursday.
We'll have the Carl Albert tournament on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
That we will. That we will. Starting next Thursday, 24 games in 3 days.
First time ever we've done it.
The Titan Classic should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. It's a really, really good field out there in Carl Albert. So,
on the girls' side, of course, you have Carl Albert in that field and Edmond Memorial. So those will be 2 of the teams I'm interested in watching and calling the games, of course.
Absolutely. Going to be a fun weekend there at Carl Albert. Going to be a lot of fun basketball. And also game of the week next week, like we said, Newcastle Tuttle on Tuesday. Long 2 here for Watkins, doesn't go. Rebounds on the floor. We got about to stay at this end. At the end of the day, just Piedmont just didn't make enough shots. I mean, they had a lot of, I would say, they had enough looks, good, clean looks in this game to be right there and, you know, try to win it. But at a certain point, you got to hit the shot. Sounds basic, but as that one goes down off the inbound, it's a good play. Makes it an 8-point game, 30 seconds left. Kerr will hand it off to Battles. And we're going to have a touch foul here.
Good timing there by Kerr, because if she threw that a little sooner, that may have been called a back door or back court, I'm sorry. You know, Tuttle, they've just been so consistent. Tribute to Coach Combs.
Yep.
I was really expecting an incredible game for the state championship at 4A last year when they were going to play, or they did play, Class and SAS. That's the 4A power that really jumps out at you. And Class and SAS just caught Tuttle on a bad night and won by 33 points.
Lee for 3 doesn't go. Tuttle just 2 losses this year, one of them to Carl Albert.
That's right.
Certainly nothing to scoff at. It was a close loss. Their other one to Caddo, it was a Class A program.
I'm not familiar with, but Class A, they must be dynamite.
They're very good, as you might guess, in Class A. I got them currently ranked number 2 in Class A, and their other loss, like I said, to Tuttle. They lost Carl Albert by 5 and lost to Caddo by 2. Those are their 2 losses this year. Otherwise, been really, really good.
Well, what looms ahead for them? At some point, I got to deal with Class and SAS again. Yeah. That is, that's a girls' program in 4A. They got athletes, and they're usually very tough.
So 10-point lead after the 2 free throws there. Lee will fire up a 3 here. That won't go. Rebound out of bounds. And just 5.7 on the clock. Tuttle defense leads the day. You hold the team to 28 points, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Good steal.
Steal by Carr, still battling to the end. No whistle and a foul, why not, with 1.7 to go. Should result in free throws here to try and get up to the 30 mark.
And Piedmont, the big game for them will be, besides the tournament in Newcastle, will be when they go to Carl Albert on January 27th. Free
throw no good. And that'll do it. Final score, Tuttle 38, Piedmont 28. Tigers improved to 14-2 on the season, putting together a really good campaign. It's going to certainly be in the mix for a state championship. Piedmont, meanwhile, falls down to 8-5. Coach Carr's team, certainly a quality one. Going to need to find something outside the three-point as far as offensively goes, but Tuttle certainly a stiff task. And the Tigers come in and get a big road win. So that's it for us in Game 1. We'll, of course, have Game 2 coming up for you in just about 10-ish minutes or so don't go anywhere. Same stream, not going anywhere. We're going to have the second game for you. Tigers and Wildcats coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Tuttle takes Game 1, Game 2 on the way here shortly.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown, Jr. Come join us.
Hello and welcome, everybody. We are back, just about ready to get going in the second game of our doubleheader tonight. Tuttle and Piedmont here from the Wildcats Athletic Center. Josh Calloway with you, alongside by Jordan Ray. Had a good first game. Tuttle girls take care of Piedmont here on the road, 38-28. Now we shift over to the boys' squads here. Both teams in the top 10. I had to do a double check a couple times because I thought I was messing myself up, Jordan. They're both number 9, and they're both 9-3. So they've had very similar seasons so far, kind of similar standing, obviously, in their respective classes. But this is a big chance for both teams to try and make a big statement here going into, I don't want to say the home stretch of the season, but, you know, the back end of it, the back half.
Well, it's definitely a home stretch for Tuttle. Boys, just like girls, they're done with their tournaments. So and also it's a chance for a little bit of revenge by Piedmont because these teams did play. Unlike the girls, these two teams did play earlier in the season. And they played in the, I believe it was the Duncan tournament back in December. And that game was won by Tuttle. So we'll see how Piedmont responds. This is the best Piedmont boys team we've seen in a few years. And it's going to be very interesting, of course, as some people may know, I follow Middale sports pretty closely, announce a lot of their games. Piedmont still has games to play against Carl Albert and Del City. And that will tell the tale of what type of seeding they'll get. But in the past, in 5A, they've been a one-and-done team.
Yeah.
And this year, looks like they're ready to take their game to the next level. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. As for Tuttle, you know, they're coached by someone who I'm kind of familiar with just through kind of some osmosis there in Coach Brian Merritt. I don't know him personally, but he used to coach Trey Young at Norman North. And before that, he coached under Dwayne Bradley, the longtime Midwest City coach. And he learned a lot of lessons there. Later became a coach at Chickasha, then Norman North, now here.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see if he can get that same intensity out of his defense game in, game out like Coach Bradley would get. So very interesting matchup here.
Like you mentioned, these two teams did meet earlier this year, a long time ago, December 9th. It was a tournament setting, like you said, 55-45. Tuttle won that one. So we'll see how these teams have progressed since then as they get ready to collide here for the second time this season. A 4A, 5A tilt. Always fun when the different classes get together. And, of course, a great one here on paper. Hopefully we get another fun finish here in the second end of our doubleheader. We'll see this Tuttle team again. Mentioned it earlier if you missed it. They're going to be on our next OSN game of the week as well. Tuesday night, they head to Newcastle. Big rivalry. We'll have that game for you as well next Tuesday night. Talk about that one a little bit more later on in the broadcast. Let's get the starting lineups here first for the visiting Tuttle Tigers. Number 1 is Jackson Nix. He's a 6-foot sophomore. Number 2, Garrett Redwine. He's the veteran on this team, a 6'2 senior. Number 11 is Gabe Avalar, a 6-foot junior. Number 15, Jake Pierce, a 6'3" junior. Then rounding it out is number 20, Richie Overcash, a junior as well at 6 foot. You notice there's not a lot of seniors on this team, just 2 on the entire roster. And one of them in the lineup there with Garrett Redwine. The other is Mason Dennis, who is a very good football player as well. He'll come off the bench tonight for Tuttle. As for the Piedmont Wildcats, they're the other end of the spectrum. They have lots of older players. We'll see how it bears out in their starting five. Number 3 is Walker Kennedy. He is a younger guy, just a sophomore, 6 foot even. Number 15 is Ryder Anderson, a 5'10" junior for the Wildcats. Number 24 is Hudson Height. He's a 6'1" freshman. Number 32 is Colton Sidneys. He's a 6'5" senior. And then another senior to round it out. Number 35 is Jeremy Way, a 6'2" senior. The Tigers are coached by Brian Merritt, like you said, 9-3 on the season to this point. The Wildcats are coached by Brandon Jackson and are also 9-3 on the season entering play tonight. Piedmont, the home squad this evening, of course, at the Wildcats Athletic Center in the home whites with blue letters. Tigers, unlike the girls team, wearing the maroon uniforms with black numbers. A little bit easier to read, I think, for me.
Let that be a lesson for people. Go with, if you're going to wear the road unis, lighter colors surrounded by darker numbers as far as the main color goes.
And so we're ready to go. Second end of our double dip tonight. We're glad you found us however you did on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And we're ready to rock. Tuttle and Piedmont, number 9 in each class, should be a good one here in the second end of our doubleheader. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Away we go. Piedmont with the basketball first. This is Sidneys with the basketball. He'll give it up to Way. Driving down the lane, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul here on Tuttle right out of the gates.
So a lot of dribble handoff action for Piedmont. Just trying to get in a position where they can have, I believe that's Weavy or Wea. Is that how you pronounce it, Wea?
I believe so. I was saying Way. It might be Wea. That's my apologies if so.
Just trying to get in a position to score
Wea
off some action.
Driving the lane here, kick out right side. This is Sidneys. In the corner, Wea. Now left side to Kennedy. Back to Wea. He'll drive the lane. Kick out. Open 3 ball here going to be taken for Height. That doesn't go. He's the freshman for Piedmont in the starting 5. Didn't hit his first shot. And Tuttle has got it racing back the other way with Redwine with the basketball here. Mentioned he's played a lot of basketball. He played a lot of minutes. I used to be the voice of Chickasha, so they play Tuttle usually twice a year. And Redwine, even 3 seasons ago, played a lot of minutes. Had an older brother, I believe, as well, who did. So he's played a lot of basketball for the Tigers. Here's Wea, 3 ball after the turnover. Doesn't go. Put back attempt, no. And the Tigers get the rebound. If you missed our first game, it was 4-0 Tuttle at the end of the first quarter. I don't think we're headed toward that, but defensive start here. And we're going to get whistles here before the shot, I believe.
Piedmont's defense has been pretty impressive. They've got a couple steals. And they're getting some transition opportunities out of it. Got to take advantage.
Foul was called on the floor. It's the second early foul on the Tigers. It's called on Redwine. That's his first. Open 3 ball. They're giving it to him. He said, I'll take it. And it was Sidneys who put the shot up. Didn't hit it. Tuttle's coming back to the way. Here come the Tigers with the basketball. Overcash gives it over to Redwine. 6'1" senior, one of just, like I said, 2 seniors on the roster for this Tigers team. They're a very young team overall. Serves you well moving forward, of course. Turnover here. Tuttle hasn't really gotten a shot up yet. Piedmont doing a good job defensively, just denying anything easy. 2 minutes in, looking for our first points. Here's Anderson with it. The lefty hit the shot, but had whistles before it.
They call legal screen. They're going to say that Sidneys, once he set the screen, he started to roll into the defender, and that gets called a foul just about every time. Piedmont in a press here.
Think of Anderson for Piedmont with the mix-max shoes. Is that something that the kids are doing nowadays? Am I out of the loop?
Well, you know, I was at a Carl Albert game last night, and there was one of their players doing it. So I think.
Is it a thing?
I think it's becoming a thing with some players, yeah.
With the left on the red, or the red on the left and blue on the right for number 15, Ryder Anderson for Piedmont. Tuttle with the ball here. Still looking for our first points very early, but scoreless nonetheless. As Dennis came into the game already, here's that other senior. He has the ball there. He give it up, number 4, the blonde hair. Here's Redwine, pump fake. He'll give it up. This is Avalar now with it on the left side, trying to get some room, double teamed right in front of the Piedmont bench, which loved it. Tuttle does keep the possession in the corner. 3-ball for Overcash off the front of the rim. No. Rebound, ripped down, put back attempt. They're going to say he traveled before the shot. Or is it a foul? I thought he signaled travel. No, it's a foul. Excuse me. I misread the hand signal. It'll go against Piedmont's, I believe, Walker Kennedy, number 3. That is the case. First foul on the Tigers.
Similar to the girls' game, we've had some fouls here, 5 early on. None of the active shooting. No free throws yet.
Overcash takes a long 2. That'll roll off. So I don't want to say we're in the same place, but girls' game had a slow start offensively, kind of similar right now. No score yet, almost 3 minutes in.
Yeah, we have 2 goose egg candidates.
4-0 was your score at the end of the first quarter in our first game tonight. Still got a ways to go before we get there, but hey, never know. Here's Sidness. He pump faked it, gives up to Way. Back in the corner, Wea.
Yep, they're daring him to shoot.
And he said gives it up. This is Kennedy, gives it out. Sidness, another 3, that one too much. And long rebound does come out to Anderson, though. Piedmont gets another crack at this. Here's Wea for 3. That won't go. Rebound pulled in by Sidness. That was great, and he stuck it back home. And there's your first points.
One athletic play by Sidness.
Yeah.
You got to take note of that if you're Tuttle. If someone comes from 25-plus feet out to get an offensive rebound like that, that's going to be a problem. You have to be aware of where he is when a shot goes up.
Foul's going to go on Height, the freshman. So piling up the fouls here. That's 4 on Piedmont. Again, not shooting like you said, but eventually it's going to result in free throws if you just keep doing it. Already more than halfway to the bonus, not even halfway into this first quarter. Here's a turnover, though, forced. Fast break for Piedmont. Alley-oop attempt. And it looks like Sidness just kind of mistimed his jump there. That was kind of awkward looking.
Piedmont has not been great in transition. They made a great steal there, but they couldn't take advantage. They went with a 2-3 zone trap where you're in a 2-3 zone. You have your top 2 guys make a quick trap on the perimeter, and then you send your back players, your front court players up to make a steal. Did not result in points, though.
Pump fake there for Nix. He ends up giving it up. Ends up with Avalar here in the corner. Back out to Dennis as we're past the midway point of the first quarter. Just 2-0 Piedmont. Just getting started here. OSN Game of the Week. Nix in the corner. Dennis thought about it. Instead, he'll dribble it back out toward the top and reset things. Here's Redwine with it once more. And a whistle here, and it looks like Tuttle took a timeout. Coach Merritt wanted to talk things over. Very uneven start to this game offensively here, really for both teams, but especially Tuttle, obviously. They haven't really got that many shots up, but especially not very many good ones at that.
No, Piedmont's been the quicker team so far, and so Tuttle might want to change how they're attacking Piedmont right now, especially against Piedmont's 2-3 zone. And one thing that Coach Merritt might want to mention is what to do if Piedmont decides to trap again out of the 2-3 zone.
See if Tuttle can find some offense. 3:35 to play in the first quarter. Early 2-0 lead for Piedmont on their home floor. A couple of teams just on the inside of the top 10 in their respective classes, looking to be on the move in that department. Both teams 9-3, so good start to their seasons. Tuttle back to it. Here's Redwine. Bounce pass to Avalar, almost turned it over.
There's that trap again.
Here's Overcash. Back to Avalar, now Redwine with it. Back to Overcash, underneath Nix, out Redwine, open 3-ball on the wing, front of the rim, no good. Wea picks up the rebound, and another stop for Piedmont.
Now that was a good possession. They got a good shot, just didn't go in. But they attacked the high post. They got to keep doing that.
Underneath, that shot doesn't go, but he's fouled, is Sidness, and he'll head to the free throw line. Looks like Nix came over and kind of got him across the arms. I'll tell you what, he's only listed as 6 foot on the roster that we provided, but Jackson Nix, I think, is taller than that. Number 1 for Tuttle.
I agree. I also think Sidness is taller. The guy shooting free throws. Now, of course, he's listed at 6'5", so that makes sense. But he's been the one player for Piedmont that's impressed me the most here.
Put it this way, Wea is listed at 6'2", and Nix has got 2-3 inches on him. Free throw's no good.
I can't help but wonder how many Piedmont players were on the football team that crushed Midwest City in the snow.
That's right. That epic snow game out of nowhere. Here's Wea starting the transition here. Down the floor, he puts it home. You know, Piedmont's defense is suffocating right now. Tuttle is turning it over at a rate that's just unsustainable, obviously. Got to find a way to get some clean possessions off. Almost another one. Redwine back to Overcash. Trapped in the corner. Piedmont very active defensively. Nix will fire up a shot. It won't go. Remember, when these two teams first met back in December, Tuttle won by 10, scored 55 points. Not a high number, but a respectable number. Right now, Piedmont's not giving them anything.
Yeah, by the way, that's a really good finish by Wea, the last possession for Piedmont, because he's left-handed, but he finished that in traffic with his right hand.
Here's Anderson, pump fake once, lost it from behind. That was a good job by Nix to poke it away. Avalar scoops it, fast break for Tuttle. Nix falls down. Meanwhile, to the rim, here's Redwine. He'll pull it for a little mid-range bunny, no. Nix the rebound, put back attempt, yes. And Tuttle's on the board.
No shutout this time.
No shutout this time. As low as this is, we're almost double what we had in the first quarter in our first game. It's 4-0. Here's Piedmont with it, 5-2. Anderson driving, and we're going to have whistles and a foul here on the floor. Go against the Tigers. It'll be their fourth. So both teams with 4 fouls in this opening quarter.
Yeah, what they're doing, they're just, a lot of these times you're seeing these teams play very aggressive perimeter defense, playing as physical with the hand checking and stuff like that as the refs will allow. And so that's why you've seen fouls on the floor a lot. No fouls in the act of shooting yet.
Inbound goes to Sidness here, right at the top. He'll bounce over to Wea. Now Anderson. Walker Kennedy. Over to Height, the freshman. He'll drive the baseline. Floater is absolutely swatted by Jackson Nix. That looked a little Landry Allen-ish from our first game.
Yeah, that's a good drive, not a good finish. I think Height's got to put more height on that.
Yeah, that's a bad foul there. Avalar crushing down on Height. That's 5 fouls on Tuttle. So they've just one more to give in over 9+ minutes. Still to play in this first half. Not a great spot to be in if you're Coach Merritt and the Tigers right now. Especially when offense is hard to come by for you at the other side.
We'll see if they adjust so they can avoid sending Piedmont to the free throw line.
Here's Height underneath to Wea. Great ball movement, and Sidney slams it.
That is textbook, Josh, and how you attack a 2-3 zone. Get the ball in the high post, not too high, and then send a cutter.
Now trapping Tuttle. They do get it across half court just in time. Overcatch of the rim. Nice move, but he is fouled, and that's going to be 5 on Piedmont. So both these teams are going to have to find a way to adjust to kind of quick whistles-ish. I mean, there's obviously the same crew that did the girls' game, which fouling wasn't much of an issue. This game so far, both teams threatening to get to the bonus. That's 2 on Sidness, too, so that's a big call.
Well, you can see what an athlete he is, so
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to come out of the game. And coming in for him, number 13, Cam Hainhar, not as tall. We'll see about the athleticism, but yeah, Piedmont's going to lose some production there, looks like.
Second free throw good for Overcash. Also into the game for Piedmont is number 22, Ethan Holiday, checking in. 7-3, we're in the final minute of the first quarter. See if Tuttle can take advantage of Sidness being out. You would imagine a good chunk of that second quarter as well, if not all of it, with the 2 fouls. We'll see how Coach Jackson plays that for Piedmont. Meanwhile, the Wildcats are slow playing this. They're working that clock, and we're back to the shot clock conversation that we had earlier.
But it's a good strategy by Piedmont because their best players just
went
to the bench.
Why not? Yeah.
So shorten the game by limiting this to 1 possession. And because Tuttle, there's trap in there, but they're playing in a 2-3 zone, that's easy to stall against.
Here's Anderson with it, gets it down to Height, 15 seconds, back out Anderson. He'll take the 3 ball, clock goes. What a shot by Anderson. The lefty buries it, and Piedmont's got a touchdown lead, 10-3. Meanwhile, Tuttle racing ahead, 5 seconds left. Off the back iron, the 3 ball from Dennis comes out to Redwine. Handoff Overcash, this will count. but it doesn't go. And a really, really good defensive first quarter for Piedmont has got them in front 10-3 at the end of 8 minutes. Take a timeout. Be back for the second quarter. Up next, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
Back at Piedmont, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Good first quarter for Piedmont, especially on the defensive end, holding the Tigers to just 3 points. And again, like we said, these two teams met in December. Tuttle won that game by 10 points, scored 55, just 3 in the first 8 minutes tonight. It's one of those situations, Jordan, you subscribe to the notion that the team that actually lost the first game has the advantage, easier to make adjustments after you lose, kind of a situation?
I think it depends on when that loss happens and if it's more of a rivalry or not. However, that's not to say Piedmont wasn't really ticked off with that loss.
The red line misses the 3 there. Buy themselves another opportunity. Now Nix has got it. He'll take a 3. That won't go. A couple of good looks, but Overcash, what a rebound. And then he scoops it up and under and in. So a good possession there by Tuttle. A couple of offensive rebounds, and it results in a bucket. Pull within 5.
They really attacked the glass there, and that's where one of the ways you know Sindus is in foul trouble.
Yep, that's a good point. Taking advantage of one of Piedmont's best players, a starter obviously, and 6'5" Colton Sidness with those 2 fouls on the bench right now. Piedmont with it, up 10-5. This is Height, guarded by Avalar. Rocket pass down to him, kick out. Anderson hit that 3 earlier, tried to get one there, doesn't go. Dennis skies to the board, and Tuttle going the other way. And already you can kind of feel the impact of Sidness being out of this game. Meanwhile, Overcash with the Euro step there, didn't get it though, didn't finish it off. Here's Weah the other way. Racing down the floor, coast to coast, and he couldn't finish. This game's tempo was picked up all of a sudden. Overcash racing back down. Dennis, now Avalar. Nix. And they'll kind of reset things up a little bit here. Nix has got such long limbs. He kind of reminds you of a Kristaps Porzingis or a Chet Holmgren maybe, to touch on the local. 3 ball for Overcash. Clackham's a quick little 5-0 run for the Tigers. And they're within a bucket just like that, 10-8.
And Nix playing on the perimeter, interestingly enough, on offense in spite of his size, and he made a good pass there to set up that 3.
Deflected. Oh, Dennis. Oh, boy, he almost saved that. Foot was on the sideline, otherwise he would have.
By the way, you said local. Tulsa Memorial has a player of a similar build named, I think, Jareth Ingram. And he's a very skilled, wiry, tall, 6'8" player. Played in that Lawton tournament back in December. Caused problems for Del City last year in the state championship game.
Oh, yeah. Open 3 ball on the left wing. That won't fall for Hainrahar. Piedmont ends up saving it somehow, and then they lost it. Had it in the corner for a moment, but Overcash ends up with it. Start the break for Tuttle. Here's Avalar. Kick over to Dennis. Now Nix. 3 ball could give him the lead. Red Wine's trying to do that. Won't fall off the front of the rim. Ends up in the hands of Weah. Here comes the start, the fast break. Weah, boy, he is all systems go. And he draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line with 5:31 to play in the first half. If Jeremiah Weah gets the ball, look out. He's going. He's very fast and obviously very athletic too.
Yeah, well, also strong. He's got that extra gear, and because of his strength, players don't want to get in his way really, but also he can clear a path to the basket if he needs to. I don't remember his name being on the football depth chart for Piedmont, so that'd be surprising because I could see him being a good football player. But maybe I missed it because I did do a Piedmont game. Of course, I mentioned that earlier.
Overcash out into the game for Tuttle comes number 5. That's Chad Everett. He's a junior for the Tigers. While Weah's free throw goes down.
So you can see Weah shoots free throws left-handed, but he loves to attack to his right. So that's the other thing about him that's interesting. He'll use either hand around the basket.
Hits them both, does Weah. So it's a 4-point lead again for Piedmont, 12-8. Ends the little 5-0 burst there for Tuttle. Here's Redwine with it. He'll pull up, kick out to Avalar. Back out Nix, pump fake one, step up, gets it off to Redwine. Nice pass, Redwine clackums. That was just good ball movement resulting in a good shot, and Redwine hit it. And it's a 1-point game, 12-11.
Yeah, another nice pass by Nix on the perimeter to set up a 3-point shooter, and he gets a steal here.
Fast break, Redwine layup is good, and just like that, the Tigers lead at 13-12. They were down 10-3 at the end of the first, but they've come out, they've made some adjustments in the break, and it's evident right now. Offense has found it. 10 points in the first 3 minutes and change of the second quarter.
Well, they're trying to get in the break. They made a concerted effort to run here, and that's been very beneficial for them.
Here's Anderson, bounce pass to Weah, and it's deflected out of bounds as a kickball, I think, actually. Yep, kickball, so stay down at this side. Back in for Piedmont comes number 3, Walker Kennedy. He'll relieve Ryder Anderson momentarily.
So it'll be interesting to see how long Coach Jackson for Piedmont leaves Sidness out.
Yeah, different games since he went out. Nice block for Nix on Weah. Start the break for Tuttle again. Here's Redwine, who seems to be finding a little bit of a groove. Everett back to Nix. Now over to Dennis. And Tuttle had to slow. Good job by Piedmont getting back after that block to kill the break. And Tuttle will slow up and set up. Shot won't go. Weah skies for the board. Deflection here, start the break for Avalar, and he'll lay it in. So Tuttle's offense, 12 points in the first half of this quarter after just 3 in the entire first 8 minutes.
And now Sidness is set to check in.
Yep. We'll stay at this end. You wondered at what point would Piedmont, like you're saying, Coach Jackson just kind of say, all right, we need to get our guy back in.
Yeah. And by the way, a guy coming off the bench that we've been talking about him, Nix. It's been very disruptive for Tuttle here. Look, winning the break.
Here he is again on the ground, and they're going to say he's out of bounds. We'll give it back over to Piedmont. 3:44 play in this first half.
The more I watch him play, I wonder if he's actually number 0, Noah Clark, and they just switch players around, because he's listed at 6'7", and we haven't seen anyone else that tall.
That is a great point. Yeah, the roster that we provided from Tuttle as number 1 is being Jackson Nix, but you're correct. Noah Clark listed at 6'7". Might need to check that in the halftime. I said it already. I was like, that height is incorrect, but you're right. It may just be the numbers incorrect. 3 ball on the right wing. Clackums. Big shot there for Kane Hanrahar, and it's back to a tie game. 15 apiece. Piedmont's offense hasn't really been there in this quarter. They needed that. Meanwhile, a turnover, and who else? Sidness comes right in, makes an impact, pokes that away. Here's Piedmont the other way, trying to get the lead back. Scoop layup is good. That was a nice move by the freshman Height. And Piedmont's back in the lead by a deuce with just under 3 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, so what happened? Sidness came back, but also for Piedmont, they're able to get the ball in transition more. They loosened up the defense, got some open threes. They started to adjust to the speed that Tuttle's playing with. Tuttle started playing with more intensity on defense to begin this quarter. Caught Piedmont off guard at first, but then Piedmont made a couple plays right there to handle Tuttle's defense. And they're doing it. Piedmont, of course, is resting Weah right now. So he's also a big part of their attack. But they're making this run without him at the moment.
17-15, Piedmont in front.
And Piedmont's pressing. They're 2-2-1. Maybe you call it a 3/4 press. But it frustrated Tuttle last time.
Everett will do the honors on the inbound here for the Tigers. Does it to Dennis. Redwine gets it across the timeline, being hounded by Ryder Anderson. He'll give it up to Everett. Now Dennis in the corner. Bounce pass to Redwine out near midcourt. Dennis underneath to Overcash in the corner. 3-ball for Everett. That'll airball long. Anderson pulls it in, and Piedmont starts the break. Here's Height. Kind of lost his dribble. Gets it back out to Anderson in the corner all alone. Wide open is Hanrahar. Clackos. Nobody was with him. They just lost him in the corner, and he buried it. And Piedmont's ahead by 5. Now another turnover. Here's Height. Can take it all the way to the rim, and he's fouled.
So Height going against the big man, who we now believe is Noah Clark. It is Noah Clark.
Yeah, I was listening closely there. So number 1 is Noah Clark. That makes more sense. 6'7" junior. Our apologies there. The roster we had at number 1 being Jackson Nix. So make that correction.
But that's a really good play by the freshman Height, going up against some height. The way he attacked right there, just drawing the body contact, and Clark's hand was on Height when he shot it, and that's what made it a foul. But the trapping defense from Piedmont, their press has been really good these last few possessions.
Second free throw no good there, but he did make the front end. So 21-15 Piedmont. Final couple of minutes here of the first half. Here's Dennis underneath. Kick out to Overcash. Tuttle did a good run to get into the lead, but Piedmont just settled back down, found it again, and now another turnover. Walker Kennedy pokes it away, start the break. Kennedy to the rim, finish. Piedmont right now is on a run, and it's a lot of it starting at the defensive end. Clark back with it. Rocket down to Redwine. Tuttle could use points. Here's Avalar, nice feed, and he finishes it.
That's a needed possession for Tuttle, because Clark, we've been complimenting him, we've been talking about him, but he made a couple of turnovers recently. This time they have a clean possession.
Pull up from the free throw line. Ryder Anderson puts one down. So both teams offensively kind of starting to find their stroke a little bit. Much higher scoring second quarter than the first. That pass knocked out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. 1:14 on the first half clock. We are back in. Coach Jackson goes ahead and gets Sidness out. Still has those 2 fouls, of course, so make sure you get to the locker room.
Sidness's plus minus has to be tremendous.
That's very true. It was 10-3 at the end of the first quarter with him playing the lion's share of it. And pretty much since he came back in, Piedmont's been on a bit of a run. Final minute of the first half. Here's Avalar with it for Tuttle. Tigers trying to cut back into this a little bit, down 8. Here's Redwine for 3. That won't go. Rebound pulled in by Height. Start the break for Piedmont. This is Hanrahar, and he'll give it back to Anderson. We'll see if Piedmont slows it down all the way enough to take the final shot. It seemed like, the few games I've done so far in this season that teams have kind of abandoned this a little bit. It seemed like more teams were caring less about holding for the final shot, but not tonight. These teams have slowed things up when it gets down near the end of the quarters. And I'm going to whistle on a foul on the Tigers. That's going to be free throws. That's a bad foul there on Everett. That's going to put Hudson Height at the free throw line. He can make this a 10-point game.
A little bit of a ticky-tack foul, but you hate, for Tuttle, you hate that foul being called on you because, again, you're 30 feet from the basket.
It's a 1-and-1. And he hits the front end.
Boy, Piedmont's exploded since Tuttle took the lead.
It's been a really, really strong finish to the half.
And for most of this game, they have been the quicker, more decisive team.
This is the second one. Rebound ended up back in his hands, but with whistles. It's going to go on Piedmont.
But only the 16th foul, so with 20.9 of a second to go, that's not a bad foul. At least from an individual standpoint, it might be, but not a team standpoint.
Here's Avalar breaking through. Bounce pass to that's not Redwine. That's 15, Jake Pierce back in there. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay at this end with the Tigers. 15.5 to work with. Back in for Piedmont comes Ethan Holliday, number 22. He comes in place of Walker Kennedy. Redwine trying to find somewhere to go with it. Eventually will fire it into Avalar. Tuttle with some time, certainly. Redwine over to Overcash. Back to Redwine. 7 seconds. Overcash again, bounce pass to Pierce, poked away. Redwine's got it, they don't even get a shot up. And Redwine actually hit that shot, but obviously well after the buzzer. So Piedmont defensively clamps it down, and Tuttle doesn't even get a shot up on the final possession there. Piedmont defense certainly the difference there in your mind in that first half?
Yes, and their defense created a lot of offense. Early on it did. They couldn't convert a lot of times. Then they started converting, and once their defense got going, it's amazing how it just makes you more comfortable shooting the ball on the other end.
Yeah.
And that's what Piedmont started making more shots. And yeah, they were the more assertive team.
At the end of 16 minutes, Piedmont 26, Tuttle 17. We'll take a timeout here. We'll have halftime here from Wildcat Athletic Center, and then we'll have the second half for you here on the OSN Game of the Week here, Tuttle and Piedmont on a Friday night from Piedmont.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Back here at Wildcats Athletic Center, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray getting ready for the second half of action here coming up in just a moment or so. So Jordan, obviously we get ready to start this third quarter. I mean, so far, really kind of just feels like whenever Piedmont has been at full strength, specifically with Colton Sidness in the game, they've been the better team tonight. But there's a whole other half of basketball to be played here.
Well, they've been very effectively aggressive on defense. They forced numerous steals. They're the team that's gone to a full court press, and it's worked also for them at times. So they're the aggressor on both ends of the floor. And Tuttle made a run early in the second quarter, thanks to some offensive rebounding and stuff like that. But other than that, brief time early in the second quarter, Piedmont's really had the mentality of taking it at Tuttle, and maybe it does go back to what you were talking about, kind of the revenge factor. Piedmont lost to Tuttle earlier in the season. Some losses will leave you with a really bad taste in your mouth. Some not as much. Maybe that one really did, because they're like, hey, we want to take their lunch money this time.
Even beyond, obviously that's a big part of it too, but just the simple reality of whenever you lose, it's kind of easier to diagnose what went wrong and try to adjust it, address it and adjust to it the next time. Whereas, for Tuttle, they won the first time. So you're trying to replicate what you did well, and it's a little bit harder to do in some cases. Not always, but in some cases. So we didn't see the first game, but Tuttle won the first match between these two teams, 55-45.
Yeah, we don't know how healthy both teams were.
Right, we don't know how that unfolded, but so far, Piedmont, and it's just one half. We have a whole other half to go here. Has been the better team, but we'll see what happens in the second half as a quick turnover here by Piedmont and start the fast break for Tuttle. Here's Overcash, and that'll go. So a good start for Tuttle, a quick bucket, and they're within 7 now here on the road against the Piedmont Wildcats.
What a finish by Overcash, too.
Yeah, that was nice. 26-19, Piedmont in front. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray here on the Oklahoma Sports Network Game of the Week. Setting up for a good one. Nice pass down low. Kennedy can't finish it, but a foul from behind by Avalar will send him to the free throw line.
Just a really effective backdoor cut there by Kennedy. Piedmont, they've just run very effective sets for much of this game. Just very comfortable. I mean, that last turnover on Piedmont was mostly an unforced turnover.
Second free throw good as well. So a 2-for-2 trip there for Kennedy. It's back up to 9-point lead, 28-19. Trapped in the corner here, and Dennis loses it out of bounds. That'll be a turnover.
Again, the trapping led to that turnover. So Piedmont is trying to do more on the defensive end than just play back and hope that Tuttle misses a shot.
Here's Sidness with the ball for Piedmont. Gets it to Weah in the corner. Anderson gives it right back to him. Over to the rim, up and under. Oh my goodness! That was spectacular through the foul. He'll go for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, his entire body was under the basket there. Under the backboard, actually, would be a better way of describing it. And he just reached up with his left hand. He did so quick that I think Tuttle was a little surprised by how quick it was, and he was able to get a shot off. A lot of times that shot will get stuffed back.
The English he put on that to kind of just spin it back a little bit. That was really nice by Jeremiah Weah, who's been a fun player to watch tonight. There's Redwine off his hands and another turnover. Piedmont right now just controlling this game. And it's, you know, Tuttle's not out of it by any means, only down 12, but Piedmont's got their finger on the pulse of it right now, and now it's another foul here on Avalar.
Yeah, at one point, trying to beat that press, Tuttle got the ball into what they call dead man's corner, and that kind of led to the turnover. You don't want to go there. That's when you just pass the timeline and you're in the corner, you only have 90 degrees to play with.
Here's Anderson taking it off to the right side, guarded by Redwine. Screen set by Sidness, driving Anderson, left-hand shot. That'll go through contact. Tell you what, he's been a fun player to watch tonight. Anderson, good shooter, strong finish there. And Piedmont's got a 14-point lead. That'll be off the foot there of Height.
So they did it again. Tuttle, the Height, the freshman, dribbled right into that corner. Luckily he had the pass only deflected there.
Here's Overcash, pass to Dennis, gives over to Clark. He'll take it, pump fake once, and he takes the contact and is fouled.
Really nice pump fake there.
I'll apologize again for Noah Clark there. On the roster, had it the other way. He is number 1. Had number 0 on the roster that we received. But he is in there and makes his first, or misses his first free throw. Spoke a little too soon.
And big news, third foul on Sidness.
Yeah, that is big because Piedmont hasn't been quite the same when he's been off the floor. Now, he's not coming off the floor yet as Clark misses both of those free throws.
That's an interesting decision.
Coach Jackson keeping him in, yeah.
You have to trust him when he's going to, on defense, to not be too aggressive at times and not pick up another foul.
Yeah, 4 right now would be a gut punch.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Anderson, mid-range 2, no. Overcash, a nice rebound. Poked away from behind by Height, and he does a great pass from the floor to Weah. And an offensive foul. So I'm impressed with Hudson Height. Just a freshman with 24 for the Wildcats. He's a good player. He's going to have a lot of room to improve as well, obviously. So 3 more years of high school basketball after this one. Good player.
Very skilled. Tuttle right now playing 4 across to try to break the press.
Second on Weah. Tigers got to find some offense. I mean, it's an obvious statement, but only 19 right now. Got to find a way to get it going, try and cut into this. There's Dennis at the midcourt logo. Bounce pass to Clark. Trying to get some room. Turnaround floater. That'll go. Friendly roll there. That'll do.
That's twice he's had good pump fakes. In this case, he does an up fake and then steps through the defense. They need more of that from him, especially against the zone.
Here's Height with it for Piedmont. Bounce pass underneath. Sidness blocked by Clark. That was well done. Now Tuttle starts the break. Here's Dennis. Give it back to Redwine. Pull up from the elbow. Can't quite get it. And a missed opportunity there. Piedmont gets the board. Here's Anderson. Poked away from behind. They're going to say it was deflected. No over and back. Weah over to Kennedy. He's got Avalar guarding him close. 4.5 to play here in the third. Weah at the top. Hand off to Height. Nice cut there, but good job closing the gap as it goes off the foot of Clark.
That's a very good use of the kickball right there.
Yeah.
Saved the layup.
That was an easy lay-in if it found its way through.
And, you know, making those type of plays, they don't show up on the stat sheet, but that's how you handle a team that's been out quicking you for most of the game.
Here's Anderson with it. Piedmont, a 12-point lead on their home floor as we close down on about 12 minutes to go. Still time, certainly, for the Tigers to work their way back in this, but Piedmont in good shape as of now. Winner of this game will be 10-3. Loser dip down to 9-4. Here's Weah with the ball. Back over to Anderson. Piedmont very deliberate right now. I mean, they're taking their time. Guarded by Avalar. He'll get by him. Bounce pass goes off the hands of Sidness, and then a bad foul. So this is going to be 3, I believe, on Weah now. So
yeah, because he just committed a charge a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. So that's a 3rd on Weah. So you got 3 fouls on 2 of the more important guys on this Piedmont team.
Yeah, and you're right. That is a bad foul. You know, a lot of players will do that. They're frustrated with how things went on offense. By the way, speaking of bad decisions, sorry I didn't get that shot for you as I made a bad decision as a camera operator. But Tuttle continues to shoot themselves in the foot by dribbling into the dead man's corner again, where it's just really hard to get trapped and make a good play out of that.
And more whistles. It's going to be against Chad Everett and the Tigers. 4th foul on Tuttle. So both teams kind of hurling toward the bonus once again. Anderson will get it in the corner. All alone is Kennedy for 3. Clackums. All alone in that corner. That's easy money. And Piedmont's got their biggest lead of the night at 15, 36-21. Wildcats in front. And Tuttle wants a timeout. Can't blame him. We'll take it too. Piedmont ahead by 15 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown, Jr. Come join us.
Back to Piedmont. Josh Galloway, Jordan Ray with you on the OSN Game of the Week. Right now, it's all Piedmont. 36-21 lead. Tuttle won the first game between these two teams by 10 points back in December. And I'll tell you what, right now, just kind of looking at the Tuttle huddle there in that break, there's some kind of deflated feel right now. You're playing a team you handled the first time, and Piedmont has controlled this game from the start.
Well, I wonder how much Piedmont pressed that first game, because Tuttle does not look prepared for whatever type of trapping defense that Piedmont's doing.
This is a foul here on the freshman Height, kind of getting up on the back of Avalar.
Even there, you take a risk when they're trapping and you start dribbling the ball with 2 or 3 defenders behind you. They're going to knock that ball away if you're not careful. In this case, though, the Tuttle drew a foul.
A little over 3 minutes to play here in the third. Turnaround shot for Clark. That won't go. Avalar fighting for the rebound. Will stay at this end.
I think it's a good shot for Tuttle. They need to keep going to Clark.
Yeah, not bad.
Especially if it's in the high post.
Well, you got Sidney's with the 3 fouls, too. I mean, you wouldn't hate to try and get that 4th one. Here's Clark with it. He'll give it up to Redwine. He'll drive from the baseline. Blocked by Height. Got it back. Underneath, here's Clark again. Bounce pass out to Everett. Long pass to Redwine. Back to Everett. Clark underneath on the block. Turn around, and he's got it.
Yeah, I'd go to Clark in the high post every time. Interesting for Piedmont, they are going to rest Weah, but not Sidness. So I wonder if Coach Jackson trusts Sidness to not be as reckless. I mean, the last couple of fouls by Weah were a little bit reckless.
13-point game. Here is Sidness with the ball. He'll hand it off to Kennedy, guarded by Avalar. Both teams with 4 fouls, by the way, so a couple more to give before we get to the bonus. Worth keeping an eye on. Mason Dennis set the check back in for Tuttle. Right to the rim. Height couldn't finish it. It was a good move. Couldn't cap it off once he got there. Here's Redwine starting the break for Tuttle. In the lane, right-hand floater. That'll go.
Very good hesitation.
2 quick buckets, and it's down to 11, 36-25, and a timeout taken here by Tuttle, after the make, with 2:01 to play in the third. Wouldn't take it two. Tuttle working their way back in it just a little bit. 11-point game here late in the third on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
Back in Piedmont, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Glad you found us however you did on the OSN Game of the Week tonight, Tuttle and Piedmont. Next up, Tuesday night, we'll have these same Tuttle Tigers. They'll be in Newcastle. Always a fun rivalry when the Tri-City teams get together. That'll be a good one, a top 10 collision at the home of the Racers on Tuesday night. Jordan and I will have that game for you. And then starting next Thursday, we'll have the Titan Classic in Carl Albert. Every game of that tournament, 24 games in 3 days. It won't be Jordan and I for all 24. That would be a little obscene.
No, but I am doing
But we'll have a lot of them.
I'm going to need to practice some vocal endurance.
Yeah. Got to drink some honey and tea on when you get home each night. Rest it up. Don't talk too much outside of the games. Whistling a foul here. But we'll have every single game of the Titan Classic. 8 games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And
you can watch them all.
Those start at 10 a.m.
That's an early start.
So if you have the chance, put it on, even while you're working if you can, or if you're just relaxing.
Free throw there, good for Kennedy.
We'll have games, it'll be basically stretching 10 hours, about 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
That's 12 hours.
You're right. What was I thinking? Forgot.
Don't undersell it. Kennedy, the free throw there. He makes the second one as well. And back to a 13-point lead for Piedmont, 38-25. Clark crossing half court. He'll give it up to Avalar. Back to Clark. Turn around from the free throw line. He's got it. He seems to be getting a little bit of a groove going.
Yeah, just get it to him in the high post. Looks like good things will happen when that occurs.
It seems like Piedmont's kind of backing off him, like they don't want him to take him to the hole. But he's going to kill him in that little mid-range if that's what they give him. Here's Weah back in. What a catch that was. And then he finishes it off. I'm more impressed by the catch.
Oh, he's an athlete.
Big time.
And now Piedmont going off the press as Tuttle was finally starting to get a little bit more comfortable handling it the last couple possessions.
Wildcats doing a good job just kind of keeping Tuttle at arm's length right now. Here's a 3-ball for Overcash. That won't go. Tuttle's got a little bit of offensive momentum, but Piedmont's done a good job, like I said, just kind of keeping them at a distance still. Here's Weah to the rim, up and under. Oh my goodness, this guy's a highlight machine, and it's back to 15.
That's what you call filling the wing there. But, we talk about how Piedmont's been the quicker team, so now Tuttle's trying to press, and Piedmont's much more comfortable against it.
Long two for Avalar. Awkward looking shot there and airballed. And Piedmont's got the ball back up by 15 points. Tuttle worked this thing down to 11. That's a hard foul there, and they'll send Anderson to the line.
Very good attack on Anderson's part. And Piedmont was trying to buy a few minutes with Sidness on the bench. Looks like they're going to try to buy a few more. He was about to come in. Now Coach Jackson was like, well, we got a big enough lead we can wait.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, we're actually going to see for the first time number 31, Carson Hammond. He's a senior for Piedmont. We haven't seen him yet tonight, but he's set to check in.
Yeah, with that lead, maybe you're going to expand on the lead here with free throws. Maybe not a bad time to see what he can do for you in case you need him. I'll tell you, one team you might need him against is Del City. He might be one of those bodies you need to throw at big Brandon Garrison.
I was just thinking that matchup of Sidness and Weah just trying to kind of both go against him would probably be pretty fun.
Yeah, and against Carl Albert too, with Jaden Mott. But those are a couple teams that Piedmont's, they're in the same conference with those teams. They're trying to chase them right now.
Redwine for 3, that won't go. And we're going to whistle on a foul. It'll stay at this end.
Just when we talk about Piedmont Can they host a regional? That's something their girls team has done frequently. Can their boys team do that? And there's going to be some big games coming up for them that will determine that. But they look the part right now.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Force a turnover there. Kennedy, how did he save that? Anderson, that shot won't go. And that'll go out of bounds. It's staying at the center, looks like it is. 10 seconds left to work with here. And Wildcats have looked impressive tonight, no doubt about it. Taking on a really good Tuttle team. There's Kennedy for three. Clackam's off the inbound. Piedmont's got a 20-point lead. This thing was 11 not that long ago. Here's Redwine trying to get in the corner. Again, can't even get a shot off. Piedmont's defense has been tremendous in this game. All right, timeout here. Third quarter in the books. We'll be back for the fourth. Piedmont with a big lead. Can Tuttle rally? We'll find out next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
Back in Piedmont here, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray, just about ready for the fourth quarter. And what can you say? The Piedmont Wildcats, they've won every quarter tonight. 10-3 after one, 26-17 at the half, and 47-27 now. They dominated that third quarter. And I'll tell you what, again, we don't know the full story. It was a long time ago, but it's hard to believe that Tuttle worked them by double digits the first time they played back in December. Shows you how much teams can change.
Well, I think what can change from game to game is your defensive intensity.
Yeah.
Some days you have it, and some days you don't. Today, Piedmont has it.
Here's Overcatch. As we start the fourth, Tuttle needs a lot to happen to make up this ground. Just scored just 27 so far, down 20. Crazier things have happened, but you got a lot of work to do. Redwine for three, that won't fall. The long rebound comes out. It'll go out of bounds and stay at this end, actually, so Tuttle steals an extra possession here. And we'll see how these Tigers respond. We have their very next game against Newcastle on Tuesday. It's another really good team on the road. So we're going to get to see firsthand how the Tigers bounce back from this. Next up on Tuesday night. That pass will go out of bounds to stay at this end.
Yeah, I'll never forget watching Newcastle play last year at Dale.
That was maybe our game of the year.
Yeah, and then Dale has maybe a couple of OU commits coming up here.
Dayton Forsythe.
Yeah.
We kind of saw him a little early in the going. I mean, he was still a great player at that time, obviously. But the offers have been pouring in for that young man as a free ball for Wea.
Yes, I was kind of surprised and kind of not because he was only a sophomore last year.
Yeah, right.
But I still wasn't thinking D1, but apparently he absolutely
Not just
is.
D1, but the big boys in D1. He's that part of that Dale, what they did at the Tournament of Champions.
Oh, yeah.
They are on the ledger. I haven't locked down win, but I want to get back out to the home of the Pirates this year because that's a big-time team out there at the 2A level as Wea's fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. So you can plan that. Going to try and get there at some point this season.
The hard part is finding a team that can be competitive with them.
Right. We saw a classic last year, like you're saying, when Newcastle was there. Forsythe, the buzzer beater.
Took a 4A team to almost beat a 2A team. I don't know if there's another 2A boys team that they're going to host that could stay with them. Meanwhile, no one from Tuttle is able to stay with Wea. He's just out quicking them in almost every which way.
Missed both the free throws there, did Wea. Tigers 17 fouls, so Piedmont is in the bonus the rest of the way. Wildcats still have one more to give, meanwhile. Simply put, though, Tuttle has just not had enough offensive rhythm to win this game tonight. Piedmont's defense has been really, really good. Here's Redwine driving, as I say that. Nice floater to the rim.
Redwine's had some good drives tonight. They've just been few and far between.
47-29, 6:15 left. There's maybe a turnover. It is. Redwine scoops it. He'll take it to the rim. Nice dish off to Avalar. That'll help. Quick points. And it's down to 16, and Coach Jackson not a fan of that little sequence. Wants a timeout. Actually, Tuttle takes a timeout. I've been fooled by that a couple times. Just a hair over 6 minutes left, and Piedmont's ahead 47-31. So, all right, I mean, it still got 6 minutes here. You know, I've seen crazier things. If you forcing turnovers like that, maybe a few shots from deep. I mean, it's not likely, but you never know.
Well, you know, it was on this floor. This game was on the Oklahoma Sports Network, too, when Piedmont got to host the area championship for girls basketball back in 2021 because of COVID. Home top seeds got to host. I remember going to Carl Albert that year.
Yeah.
And anyway, there was a consolation championship between Altus and I forget the opponent. And Altus was up 25 points in the fourth quarter and lost in regulation on this floor. Now, what does it take to do something like that? You got to force turnovers early, often, and just about always. What Tuttle did on their last trap, I don't know why they called that timeout, because that gives Coach Jackson a chance to draw up how to beat them.
That's what surprised me,
It's the only way. That actually, Tuttle's going to drop back out of their press. That's interesting. They had a successful press, forcing a turnover and a layup, and now they're going out of the press. They are going to do a half-court trap, though.
See if they can't force some turnovers into quick buckets. With the way Piedmont is willing to be deliberate and kind of work that clock, 6 minutes can go real quick on you. There's Weah underneath. Kennedy couldn't quite finish. Good contest, and Tuttle gets another stop, trying to stack them here. Haven't allowed any points yet in this fourth quarter. There's Dennis on the right side to the top, Avalar. Back to him in the corner, Clark. Pump fake. Back to Dennis. Underneath to Redwine. Pulls up, mid-range jumper. He's got it. Redwine seems to be getting a little hot right now. It's down to 14, 47-33.
Now back to the press.
Kennedy trapped in the back court. They're going to be able to get this thing across. They just do. Here's Weah with it. He'll go all the way to the rim. Oh, boy, big collision there. That's a charge. And no doubt about it, and Weah took a really hard fall. That's going to be 4 on him as well. That was a no doubt about it call. I mean, he came in like just a bulldozer.
Well, as good as he's been, he has committed out-of-control fouls. That's his second charge.
Good to see he's all right. That was a very hard fall. But it's another it's another turnover here, and with a hair over 5 minutes, Tuttle's got the ball back again. So we're going to wipe down the floor where he fell.
And even though Piedmont's been the quicker team, you know, sometimes you trap a team that's even athletic and quick, you still speed them up and put them in a situation where they're making decisions that probably are not optimal. So we'll see if Tuttle continues to be more comfortable against the press than what they were earlier in this game. And if they can attack the high post with effectiveness like they have been.
5 minutes left. Here's Redwine pulling up. There's the mid-range again. He banks it in. Tell you what, 8-0 run for the Tigers, and they're down 12. And right now, their defense is giving Piedmont problems.
Let's have some red wine here for him. he has been tremendous these last 2 minutes.
Almost a turnover. Instead, it's a bad foul. I mean, I guess not the end of the world. It at least makes the possession end quicker. It's a 1-1 coming up here for Walker Kennedy.
Yeah, I mean, you're going for a steal. I don't mind fouls when you're going for a steal when you're down by 12 points.
It's an 8-0 run for the Tigers here to open this fourth quarter. It was 47-27 when we start. So Piedmont still hasn't scored. Could change that here. And he does. Makes the front end.
So is Noah Clark keeping Tuttle in the game a few minutes ago. We'll see if they keep going to Garrett Redwine, who has been red hot lately.
Another timeout here by Piedmont this time around, a 14-point game, and we'll go ahead and take it with them. 49-35 football score, Piedmont in front of Tuttle. Still some meat on the bone, though, left here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Back in Piedmont, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Wildcats led the Tigers by 20 at the start of this fourth quarter, but Tuttle with an 8-0 run got back within 12. Free throws there makes it back to 14, but Tuttle not going away quietly here. As we still have a little over half the fourth quarter left. Clark in the corner. Dennis for three. That air ball's long, and we're going to get a foul on height going through the back of Everett, and that's going to be a 1-and-1 for the Tigers. So the freshman Height gets his third, and some big free throws here coming for Everett. These are just opportunities you can't really afford to waste if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, Tuttle's played with more quickness these last, really this entire quarter.
Makes the first. Second one off the back iron, so split the trip, get it down to 13 points, 49-36. Kennedy gets it across half court. He's guarded by Redwine. Left side, it's caught by Height, guarded closely by Dennis, hounding him on the sideline there, and he stepped out of bounds. Turn it over back to Tuttle.
So I'm going to guess Coach Jackson's telling the freshman Height, let's beat a trap with passing.
Yeah.
Some of the really quick players can consistently beat a trap through dribbling the ball, but you don't want to normally try to do that, especially when you're trying to dribble down the sideline like that. You just don't have room to do it.
Right side, here's Clark. This is a really deep three. Clackums! Holy moly, where did that come from? And it's down to 10 at the midway point of the fourth. So they were down 20. They've erased exactly half of it halfway through the fourth quarter.
I'll tell you, I've been really impressed with Clark and Redwine.
I have. There's going to be a foul here. It's going to send Sidness to the line. I'm not sure if they're going to get Clark or Avalar on this. I think Avalar, and it is. The junior Gabe Avalar. That's his fourth. So free throws here coming for Sidness. He'll shoot two. How about Tuttle, though? Just battling back. You got to give him credit for at least that. Almost no matter what happens the rest of the way here to work their way back in this. Sidness gets the first one.
Well, they started to take their shots, the shots they want to take the last several possessions, whether it's Clark or Redwine, and it's been very effective.
So the free throws are good, 51-39. Piedmont back in the head by 12. Here's Avalar, guarded by Weah, who's got those 4 fouls. Here's Dennis, open three. That won't go. That would have been a big shot. Couldn't get it to fall. Weah is being hounded here, but he somehow got through that. Over to Ryder Anderson. Anderson gives up to Height. That's a smart play by the freshman there, Height, to not just jack up a shot, but say, hey, let's work the clock. But then as I say that, Kennedy fires it away from Anderson for a turnover. And it's clear right now Piedmont is very uncomfortable offensively. Yeah. They don't have a single field goal yet in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're just not comfortable playing with a lead right now.
Here's Clark, back to Avalar. Right now, if you're Piedmont, you got to be thinking anybody but Clark or Redwine, please. Clark's shot might have been, I don't know if it was partially blocked or not. It was at least contested well, and he missed it.
We recovered really well on that play.
Here's Anderson, dancing on the timeline. Kennedy, bounce pass underneath to Sidness, and that's a big bucket and the foul. And boy, did Piedmont need that. That's their first field goal of the fourth quarter, and that, I don't want to say puts a nail in Tuttle, but kind of kills a bit of the comeback here. With just under 3 minutes left.
Sidness has been quiet this half, but that was a really good finish.
Yeah.
Really needed.
So it's back up to 15 just like that. 54-39. Avalar gives it Dennis, bounce pass underneath. Redwine pushing to the rim. That'll go and the foul. All right. Tuttle just refuses to really roll over in this game. I'll tell you what. As Redwine goes for the old-fashioned three-point play, the foul was called there.
Redwine and Clark. Just made some really big-time shots this half.
It's the fourth on Height. Redwine makes the free throw, so they match three-point plays, and it's back down to 12 with 2:50 left. All right. Tigers not willing to go away here, Jordan. I mean, if you're Tuttle right now, you're thinking, if we can find a way to continue to force turnovers like we were doing earlier, it feels like they're not going to be able to do this without some outside shooting, though, and they haven't really done that in this rally, at least.
No, but they've gotten good shots in the paint, and they're at the free throw line now, and it's pretty clear that Coach Merritt called that timeout because with one free throw to go, he wants to set up a particular defense out of this free throw. And Tuttle has had some success lately with their defense. They've ratcheted up the intensity. Piedmont has not fully adjusted yet, even though they've made enough plays to keep them at arm's length. It's hard to see a team coming back from 12 points right now, but, you know, make one more free throw, you can force a couple turnovers, make one or two more threes, and then all of a sudden you're in business. It's really hard to do. It's easy to talk about.
Right.
So we'll see what they do. I thought they had one free throw left. I guess they. Oh, it was an and one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they're going full court press.
Wade gives it right back to Anderson, and they're going to foul him right away. Interesting. With obviously 2:48 left. You want to talk about elongating the game if you are going to start fouling this far out.
Well, I'm guessing they want to go ahead and get Piedmont their last 1-and-1 here.
They're in the double bonus already, so this is two shots.
Looking at the wrong foul total.
Anderson makes the first one.
Tuttle, they get fouled, they have a 1-and-1 if it's on the floor.
Yeah, one more. Anderson makes them both, 56-42. Here come the Tigers. Redwine crossing the timeline. He'll hand it off to Clark, steps to his left, underneath Redwine, turn around from that little mid-range. He has been just lethal in that little midi range. Puts that one down, back down to 12. Had the trap there, and there's your foul. Anderson will go back to the line again. It's going to be on Redwine.
He didn't want to foul there.
Just a second.
But he had to be aggressive.
Right now, Tuttle, I mean, they're kind of, I don't want to say banking on, but kind of banking on Piedmont missing some free throws here, opening the door a little bit for him. See what happens. Anderson's now calmly stepped up and hit 3 in a row.
Yeah, Piedmont, they've hit their free throws too. That's another thing that's helped them keep this game at arm's length, even though Tuttle's making a run, playing much better on offense.
I mean, Tuttle is 27 in the first 3 quarters. They got 17 here in the fourth. They've certainly found it. Just kind of maybe too little too late kind of situation. Here's Everett with it. Back to Dennis. Here's a 3-ball. Clackums! Dennis rips the deep 3, cuts it back down to 11. And just every time you think Tuttle is dead, they find a way to get a big shot. Another foul on Redwine, looks like. Maybe his 3rd now.
Yeah, now they got to be careful with who commits these fouls. But they're really trying. The last couple of fouls by Redwine, he was making a concerted effort to get a steal. It wasn't. I don't think he was fouling on purpose like they did a couple possessions before that, which I still don't totally get.
Yeah, that was strange. 2:10 left, 11-point game. Height, the freshman, at the line here for Piedmont, hits the first.
Tuttle will make a sub here.
Yeah, Overcash back in. Starter for the Tigers gets back in there.
Maybe going in to commit fouls, too.
Make them both, 60-47. Here's Avalar racing ahead. He's got 4, so he'll foul out. Clark gives it back to Dennis. In the corner, Avalar. Back to Dennis. Clark, you're really far away from the three-point line right now. Go ahead and fire. Clark for 3. Back iron, no. Rebound, nicely done there by Anderson, skying for it. And he's fouled again. I think that's a Redwine again. That's going to be now 4. He went from not in any foul trouble to bordering on fouling out very quickly here.
Is that on Wilson?
thought it was on Redwine. I saw him put up the 2 fingers. I think the board hasn't updated. I don't think. Anderson will be shooting a pair here again. Makes the first one. Tuttle gave it a heck of an effort here, but Piedmont just didn't make enough mistakes, essentially, to allow this to really get real. Worked it down to 11. Actually, it was down to 10 at one point. But Piedmont's done a good job keeping their distance, and it looks like they're going to be on their way to their 10th win. There's Redwine back to Clark. Dennis. Avalar in the corner. Overcash will drive the baseline. Hands off to Clark. He'll lay it. Oh, it just rolled out. Got his own miss, though. Put back. Yes, and the foul. That worked out even better than the original make. Make it 62-49.
You know, the more aggressive Clark is, the more I like watching him play.
He's a fun player. Just a junior, too. So
he and Redwine, the thing is, they weren't obviously doing that nearly as much the first half. And they need to try to be assertive early on. So when they play next week, that'll be something to watch for.
I mean, Tuttle's bordering on as Sidness gets a head in, gets the flush. Give him a little bit of room. He knew he was going to try it, and he did. It's a 14-point lead. Fisher thought I was just going to say Tuttle as they have an offensive foul here on Dennis. I mean, they're bordering on doubling their score in the fourth quarter alone, and that's one of those situations you're going to be kicking yourself a little bit tonight when these guys go to sleep thinking, like, why couldn't we have been doing that the first 3 quarters? Just kind of what you're saying. Yeah. And we're going to get to see how they respond. We'll have their next game Tuesday night. Tuttle at Newcastle. Next edition of the OSN Game of the Week. Racers are really good. Excited to see what they look like as they consider themselves a contender in 4A this year. Get a look at them on Tuesday. Is Weah down the lane. He puts that one home. And Piedmont certainly on their way to a very decisive and nice home win as we're into the final minute here. Deep 3 for Redwine. That won't go off the back iron. Out to Everett. He'll fire a 3. That won't go either. Another rebound for Tuttle. 50 seconds. Underneath, Redwine. Spin move. Shot is up. No good. Weah, who else? Skies for the board. They would have picked up that 4th foul, but he's done a good job. Hasn't picked it up since. Ahead to Sidness. Good sportsmanship here. Could have probably dunked it again if he wanted, but said, no, we'll play it out. We'll let the clock run and get on out of here. So in the final 30 seconds, Piedmont will go to 10-3. Tuttle will fall down to 9-4 on the season.
Both teams headed to Newcastle.
Yeah, like we said, Tuttle will play at Newcastle next up on Tuesday night. Piedmont, meanwhile,
will be playing in the Newcastle tournament the following weekend.
Yeah, they got Duncan on Tuesday here in their next game, like we mentioned earlier with the girls.
As I was asking before, can Piedmont, as they have pulled off the victory, can they compete for a home seed? And I think yes, but who are they competing against? Well, Del City and Carl Albert, we mentioned also Southeast and El Reno. And El Reno already beat Piedmont earlier this year, so it'll be interesting to see if they can make a chase for that. But I will say, even if they don't, and they have to go to one of those places, they'll be very dangerous in that second round matchup.
All right, we're going to take one last final break here. We'll come back in just about a minute or so, and we'll wrap it all up from Piedmont. And look ahead to our next edition of the OSN Game of the Week on Tuesday with the Tigers and the Racers. Stick with us. Post-game wrap-up next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female, you just know I'm an American Airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
Back here in Piedmont, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Wrapping things up here from home of the Wildcats, where the two programs split the game tonight. Tuttle girls win the first game of our doubleheader. Piedmont boys take the second game. It's going to be interesting to see how these teams kind of go from here. Obviously, our first time seeing either one of them, but Piedmont, you know, you're looking at where are the contenders in 5A outside of the ones that you know very well in the Middle area. And from what you've seen, know those Mindale teams really well. Do you think Piedmont is going to be a thorn in the side? I mean, what impressions, I guess, and how they compare maybe down the road to those teams that obviously you know very well?
I think they can be a thorn in the side of Carl Albert, because I think they match up similarly to Carl Albert size-wise, athlete-wise. Del City, I think, their peak is different if Del City's healthy.
Right.
So,
right.
But
at their best.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see against both teams. I think they can cause problems because they do have a good combination of athleticism and skill and size. They don't have a true post player, but what they do have is a couple of guys who can play very athletic around the paint and make plays and are very skilled. So it's a very interesting team, and I think they're getting better than what they've been. In fact, they obviously improved greatly from when they played Tuttle back in December. So, yeah, that will be very interesting to see how they do against some other good 5A teams that coming up.
As for the Tuttle Tigers, as we mentioned a couple times there, will have their next game. They play at Newcastle on Tuesday. It's an 8 o'clock tip. Jordan and I will be on the call for it. This was a weird game, you know, for the Tigers. I mean, you're playing a team you beat by 10 earlier in the year, like we said, and you lose by 16 on the road. But they did some nice things in that fourth quarter, especially offensively, to build on. It feels like they have the players to certainly. Right. We'll just have to see how they, how they bounce back from this and how they adapt. I'm excited to see. We don't, doing this, don't really see the same team play 2 times in a row very often. Obviously, we will at the Titan Classic, but we'll see how Tuttle gets to bounce back on Tuesday against another really good team. I'm kind of interested to see in kind of what you were saying. Will Clark and Redwine, these guys, be a little more aggressive from the start next time out? But they look like they have the pieces, but they gotta fine-tune some things.
Well, they got scoring power. They showed that in the second half. What's going to be real important is that they cannot be stagnant on offense, or I guess they can't be tentative. Several times Piedmont threw punches, and Tuttle just took it and got hit, got bloodied up. So they can't have these bad stretches where they're turning the ball over and just playing a step slower on defense. And that's kind of what happened. That's how Piedmont built that lead. And as good as Tuttle played, they couldn't make the steps they needed to make it a close game, probably because Piedmont made their foul shots, and they just couldn't make it close at that point. They made it interesting a little bit, but they couldn't make it close.
Definitely. Look forward to seeing them on Tuesday. That'll be our next game. You see it right there. 8 o'clock tip. Jordan will be on the air a few minutes before, 7:55 or so. Kind of set the scene from Newcastle and see what they match up. The Tri-City rivalry, always fun. I've been fortunate to call that football rivalry, obviously, the last couple of years. And should be fun to see how the basketball teams match up. Currently, both teams are in the top 10. Racers, really good team, have a young man, Carl Young, who I'm excited to see, is getting recruited from some of the big places. He's expected to be a big-time player for the Racers. Still young out there, so excited to see what he looks like on the basketball court on Tuesday. So that's it for us. Thank you to everybody from Piedmont. Great hospitality here. My first time doing a game up here for anything. For you, for basketball, or no?
Yeah, for basketball.
Yeah, great facilities here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they, host some area stuff, because this is a very nice gym.
It is.
So I could see them hosting some 6A area games or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Great facilities here, great hospitality. Appreciate Athletic Director Matt Bilyeu, as well as Assistant Athletic Director Matthew Schellenberger. Very helpful in getting set up this week and providing all the materials we needed. They, some of these places, some of these schools, sometimes they have in-house broadcast. They kind of are a little touch and go, but they were not at all. They said, yeah, welcome, and come do the game, and so we appreciate them for that. It was a fun time coming here. Hopefully we can come here again sometime in the future. Glad they got to go to a new place here to start the second year of the Game of the Week series here on OSN. So that's it for us. We thank you so much for watching. Again, we'll be back Tuesday for Tuttle, Newcastle, as well as don't forget to tune in for the Comanche County Tournament next week. Starts on Monday. And then we also have the Titan Classic starting next Thursday. We'll talk about that a lot more, of course, on next Tuesday's broadcast between Tuttle and Newcastle. So that's it for us. We thank you so much for watching, as always, on the Oklahoma Sports Network. For Jordan Ray, I'm Josh Calloway, signing off from Piedmont. We'll see you on Tuesday in Newcastle. Good night, everybody.